Welcome to the Big Rudy Hunter Show. Thunder crashes, darkness falls. Hear the voices through the halls. Skylight and Shotzi take the stage, unleashing chaos, fear, and rage. Freddy's waiting in your dreams. Jason's hunting by the streams. Art the clown brings twisted pain. Jigsaw's playing deadly games.
Feel the fire in your soul. Hear the crowd lose control. Raise your fists into the sky.
Tonight the legends never die. Welcome to the Big Rudy Horror Show. Into the darkness we all go. Action figures, horror games, emblems and icons, famous names.
The conjuring spirits come,
And serious shadows start to go.
final destination seals your fate.
The chamber of hard rolls away.
Shocking laughs beneath the light.
Creatures rising in the night. Fear and madness side by side. There's no place left to hide.
From the movies to the screen, living out the darkest dreams. Heavy guitars and pounding drums. Hear the sounds of evil.
Freddy's hitting. What the cloud? Six songs again. Whoa!
The nightmare never dies.
We are the monsters! We are the screams! Living forever! Inside your dreams! Through the darkness, through the pain, the horror show will reign! Welcome to the Big Rudy Horror Show! Feel the power, let it flow! Scarlet and shine, silent the fight! Rolling over the endless night! Raise your voices in the crowd! Scream the anthem long and loud! Welcome to the Big Rudy Horror Show! Welcome to the chamber of wrath!
Yeah. Big Rudy in the building. Dust Squad. You already know what time it is.
Started from the bottom, now I'm aiming for the sky. Everybody talking big, but they never even try. Stayed focused on the mission, kept my eyes on the prize. Every setback made me stronger, every loss made me wise. Money on my mind, got the hustle in my veins. Built it from the ground, now they screaming out my name. Never switched sides, never folded for the fame. Real ones beside me, yeah, we all became the game.
One shot, one chance, better all the night. Hands up to the stars, watch the city lights. No fear, no doubt, we were born to fight. This moment
got the whole squad rolling, every door closed. Found another one opening, people throwing shade, but the future keeps glowing. While the haters keep talking, we're the ones still growing. Got dreams bigger than the money and the fame. Trying to leave a legacy, not just another name. Stay loyal from the start, that's the reason we remain. When the pressure gets heavy, we embrace the pain. To the doubters and the critics, watching from afar, keep your comments, keep your noise. We're reaching for the stars, every scar tells a story, every mile left a mark. Now we're shining so bright, lighting up the dark.
One shot, one chance, better own the night. Hands up to the stars, watch the city lights. No fear, no doubt, we were born to fight. This moment belongs to us, we own the night. One shot, one chance, better own the night. Everything we dream is finally in sight. No fear, no doubt, we were born to fight. This moment belongs to us, we own the night.
Big Rudy, just go out forever. We came too far to stop now.
Welcome to the Big Rudy Show. I'm your host, Mr. Rudy. I just want to say thank you for everyone coming in. So, I'm giving everybody a round of applause. So, let me introduce myself. You know, Mr. Rudy. I do cover horror news, horror movies, criminal activity, debunkers, sometimes Power Rangers, sometimes superheroes, sometimes video game, and many more. So that's it. Introduced. If you like my content, give it a like, share it, or subscribe. It's free. And hope we continue the journey together of my YouTube friends. And today we're gonna talk about Stevie. Continue on Stevie tattoo tour. Last time we talked about it, only watched half, but we continue watching the other half. Then I'm gonna cover Beardo, about Tony Spera. You know him. He's Lorraine Warren, son-in-law. Tony Spera. Yeah. And then the main event is Dead Meat Award Night 2026. So all the horror movies will give award and many more. And that's it for today. And also I will talk about my merch. And yeah. Let's get into this. First, we're going to go to Stevie. Is it this one? Oh, sorry guys, I need to work on this. You know, Stevie, it's a permanent. Like I feel like she's like a historian. Cover Lorraine Warren's, also the Annabelle. But today we're gonna continue finish up her tattoo. Oh, was great because I know some knowledge of a tattoos. because I have also friends are tattoo artists, and I spend time with them almost 5 years or so or more. I don't remember the timeline. And I think a while like 2003, I think like 2012 when I got my first tattoo, and it's fair use. And let's continue. Where we left
I think I'm behind again in the chat. Florio said it is about your clotting power. Yeah, okay. And that's what I was taught, and we took all these classes. Like when I got my tattoo license in the state of Tennessee, you have to take a bloodborne pathogens class, and you have to go through the health department and get certified and everything. They try to make sure that people doing tattoos aren't just random people doing it.
Yeah, this is true. You should to get approved, you have to go to the health department. You get like a certificate that the health, all of that. You have to take the study of it, like the water, because you don't use like sink water or tap water, something like that, or many like health, the skin, all the knowledge. And you have to wear gloves. Do not wear. You have to wear gloves to take out the machine. Do not use your do not use your hand without the glove because you get in trouble with tattoo artists.
In their basements, but that happens all the time too. I did try to go through the correct process of becoming a tattooist. Sorry about that. I really do feel like something's coming on and I might be sick over the weekend. My sinuses have been crazy. Like this whole region of my face has been annoying. I'm very foggy. I think it's because of the weather. Pretty sure it's because of the weather. It's the crazy weather the last few days. If I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. I keep hitting buttons over here. Not buttons. The mouse. My mouse sucks. And I keep accidentally right-clicking things and it covers the chat and then I lose it. Oh, Blast Rights is here. Hi.
Well, it's a commercial break, guys.
Mama Peace Awakening says, I have only one tattoo, but it's 2 sessions, 13 hours altogether. Vines and eyes on my bum and hip. I love it. I have a whole piece down the side of my bum and hip down to my knee. That is mermaid scales and waves and seashells. I have pictures. I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you now since it's been brought up. But
yeah, I got tattoos too, guys. Right here. And my arms too. I'm showing you some skin for free. And other stuff too. So yeah.
those are pieces that are big and that I would have to be essentially naked.
Yeah. Same here. But if for tattoo artists, like I got friends, like yeah, I had to take off my shirt off in front of my friend. Cause we're guys, and like if you have hairy arm, they had to shave it, then clean it, then they put like not what's it called, like it's been a while, the outline of the art you want to do of your tattoo, then they'll go over with over the line work first. Then basically it's like a Tuesday, 2 sessions. Then we do the shading to finish it off.
For you to see the entire thing. So here is the front on my front hip. There we go. With seashells and some water waves and some mermaid scales. And then it also goes on my bum in the back, and I put a little sensor bar for my butt crack. But I love this piece. It actually goes all the way down to my knee now. There's more scales and seashells and waves going down. And then I have another really fun piece just below that is also probably, I forgot to cover it. I better not show it. It's another naked lady. I have 2 naked ladies on me. This one is the Birth of Venus statue. And I was inspired to get it when we were traveling, doing the tattooer convention tour overseas. We went to 8 countries in 6 weeks. And while we were in Greece, and in Greece, I saw the Birth of Venus statue, and I told Alicia I wanted that statue tattooed on me. She did a very beautiful version. I will share pictures of it on social media. I'm pretty sure it's okay. I just don't want to get in trouble on YouTube for showing some boobies on the camera. I mean, it's just a tattoo, but you know, people get in trouble on Instagram all the time for sharing things they're not supposed to too. So I don't know. I don't want to get banned. But yeah, while we were in Greece, I got inspired to do that. We did it. We actually did it while we were in Manchester, England. Then we got on a plane the next day and traveled for a few hours with my leg freshly tattooed. So that was fun. Excuse me. Sorry about the cough question. Roger said, when you were doing them, did you ever refuse anyone that was drunk? Yes. If I could tell that they were drunk, sorry about that. Most tattoo shops, it is standard that you have to sign a waiver. It's this piece of paper with all this list of things that you agree. You are not on.
Yeah, you have to sign a waiver. You agree. Even I had to sign waivers to my friend.
Any drugs, you are not taking any medications that will cause you any adverse side effects. You're not carrying any contractable diseases, stuff like that. And then you do have to sign that you are sober, that you are of sound mind and body, you are not under the influence of anything, that kind of thing. We used to actually put at the bottom, the shop that I worked in, we had a little line at the very bottom that said, initial if you've read this and agree that we can have your car. And most people just...
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space? With this free satellite Earth Maps tool, you can zoom right down to your
don't read through it and just brush an initial all down and all the checkpoints initial. They don't really read it, and then they hand it back to you. And we used to get people like that by saying, "Oh, you initial, we could have your car," and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even read it." So we'd give it back to them. They'd read it, and they wouldn't initial that part. So it was mostly just to make sure people pay attention for our safety and theirs. If you don't comply to,
yeah, because they don't want to sue the tattoo shop when something happened to them. So you have to read it's basically reading like a contract.
All the rules and stuff of getting a tattoo, and you get hurt or your artist gets hurt, it's a very big mess. You have to take the bloodborne pathogens class because you have to be aware of all the things you can catch from someone's blood. If they happen to have a contractable disease, you could get if you were tattooing them and you get blood splatter on your gloves and you touch your face, which you should never do, but if you were to do that and you got their blood on your skin or in your eye or something like that, if the ink splatters and you get ink in your eye and you happen to dip your needle in that cup with their blood on that needle, that's contractable. There's all these things you have to be aware of. People don't fully understand that. I think when they're going to get a tattoo, they don't understand that waiver that they're signing is very important. So yeah, we've denied people for all kinds of reasons. If they look too drunk, if we've had people ask for insanely inappropriate tattoos, and we will turn them down and say, sorry, we don't feel comfortable putting that on you permanently for life. So you'll have to find an artist that does feel comfortable doing that. So it is the artist's right to refuse. I actually heard a story when we were traveling. We were coming back from New York, and I was reading an article. We had done the Empire State Tattoo Convention in New York City. And on the way back, I was reading an article about an artist in New York who had turned down a client who happened to be a blog writer. And he turned her down because she wanted a neck tattoo and she had no other tattoos. And old school artists and old school tattooed people, there is a rite of passage situation that happens with neck tattoos and hand tattoos. You don't generally get those first. They're called job stoppers. Back in the day, you were not able to get a job at all, period, if you had a hand or neck tattoo. So most artists only gave them to people who were heavily tattooed, who were.
That's true. Back in the days, if you had to work like a job, if you get a tattoo over right here or your hand, you have to cover it, or like sleeve, you have to cover it. Now you can work with showing your tattoo. Certain jobs, you know what I mean?
Had been in the tattoo world for a while and knew that they weren't going to be leaving it, or knew they weren't going to need a job where hand and neck tattoos mattered. So this old school artist turns down this young woman who is a blogger and says, no, I'm sorry, I can't feel in good conscience right about putting that permanently on your body when it could affect your future life choices, like your decisions for career paths and such. And he was very polite and considerate, but she tore him apart in this article. She said that he was awful for denying her what she wanted. He had no right to tell her no, all this crazy stuff. And the younger generations of people that were coming up around that time getting tattooed didn't realize it wasn't okay to have those tattoos for us older people who were getting them back in the day as young people, and knowing once you get that visible tattoo, your chances of getting a good job are pretty much out the window. So now that is not really a thing anymore. There are a lot of young people that have their first tattoos on their hand or neck, and it's a thing now. It's like a trend, I guess you could say, and it's no longer so frowned upon. So I find it interesting how in my 20 years of getting tattooed and having done it a couple years, just seeing the evolution of it has been really interesting. I've talked again too much. We're already 40 minutes into this. Did I miss anybody's question here? Let's see. Okay, I don't think I missed much here. Cool beans. Belfast, you should get one of Ed and Lorraine's faces. I am sure there are people out there that have some tattoos like that. I would not be surprised. I have faces. Speaking of faces, so my tattoo removal journey started in, what year was it? Probably 2015, I think, is when I started getting. Thank you so much, Belfast, for the gifted memberships. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you. So yeah, I had a terrible tattoo on my arm, and I will show you what it looked like. When I asked for it, the artist that did it didn't want to do it how I wanted. For one, he wanted to do it his way. It was a free tattoo. Here is my PSA for free tattoos. Don't get free tattoos. Free tattoos are worth about as much as you paid for them. They are garbage. They will never be good. The only way a free tattoo is good is if you worked out a deal with a good artist and they got something in return, because if you're not paying anything, you're not getting good. So this is what I had. And there are two pictures here.
Facts. Let me tell you about mine. So I get free tattoos because me and my friend, and I used to be an artist. I used to paint, and he liked one of my artwork. It was like an abstract painting. It was like it's like big canvas size, and we traded for art, like tattoo for my canvas, art painting. So he really liked it, and he still have it this day and frame it or hanging at his house still.
One is of it before I started the removal, and one is after one session of laser tattoo removal. So here's this one. It's trying to focus. There we go. That is my original Jack and Sally tattoo. I hated it. I hated everything about it except the drawing was pretty. The execution was terrible. I hated it so bad. This was after. Let's see if it'll focus again. It's barely focusing, but that was after several laser sessions. It started to lighten a bit. And then once I finally got it lightened enough, this is what I got out of it. It is such a pretty tattoo now. I originally wanted it to go under my elbow. The guy said I couldn't handle it on my elbow. He said he wouldn't tattoo my elbow because he didn't think I could handle the pain, which really irritated me because I intended already at that point to be fully covered, and he just denied me that because he thought I couldn't take it. So now my elbow is covered with Oogie Boogie, which I love, and that will eventually go down. And then I have my Emily here, my corpse bride, and Oogie's face will bleed in down behind her when I fill all this in, and it will all eventually go together. Question, please scroll above. Okay, one sec, Mary Jane, let me find it.
So she have like Jack Skeleton, basically a Tim I'm gonna say Tom Brady, Tim, who do like the Nightmare Before Christmas and the Bride Corps.
I'm sorry about that. Let me find your question. Sorry, you guys don't want to hear me. That is a tick I have when I'm trying to concentrate. I hum. I usually hum the Nightmare Before Christmas song.
Tile Survive has to be one of the most relaxing and comforting games of 2026. There's no pressure, and it's super easy to play. You don't need to stay online all day, and there's no endless grinding either. Just hop in whenever you feel like it. Collect some materials.
I am not seeing it, Mary Jane. If anyone saw Mary Jane's question, could you write it for me again? I am not finding it. Kristen, I can't handle the pain anymore. You would be 100% right for me. I don't like the pain anymore either. I most of the time use numbing cream ever since I discovered it and it became so readily available on Amazon, because it was available when I started tattooing back in 2009, but it was expensive and hard to get. Now you can buy it on Amazon. It's not a big deal. Grey Duck Colonel said the elbow is rough. My right arm has a sleeve that has my elbow covered. That was the worst spot for me. I didn't mind the elbow. I was good with the elbow. It was the inside of the elbow, like the ditch area. I don't care for getting tattooed in the ditch. I heard the back of the knee ditch is really bad too. I don't have my knees or the back of my knees done yet. Just the sides of my legs all the way down.
Yeah, I don't have my elbow tattoo yet, or my knee. Oh.
And I'm not looking forward to these, but I really want them done. But yeah, the elbows are okay for me. The worst pain spot for me was my sternum. I have a piece that goes onto my stomach, and it's actually a planchette.
See, the sternum is more gonna hurt more, because it's all bones, no meat.
And it's right in the center of the base of my sternum, and then goes down onto my stomach. Worst pain I've ever had. I did not think I was going to make it through that tattoo. It took 2 sessions, and at the end of the second session, we were still not done, and I told her I'm done. I will probably never touch that again. Mary's question. Thank you so much, Roger. Mary Jane's question was, I have my kids' names tattooed on my hands on the side of my left hand and one on the right side of my right hand. Right thumb, sorry, that have gone blurry. Any suggestions? Thank you so much, Roger, for finding that. Absolutely. Find an artist that is good with fine line tattooing. If you are not good at fine line tattooing, you will not be able to help hand tattoos like that. Hand tattoos are the worst for ink blowout, for fading, for the ink not holding. I can show you. Maybe I can show you. This is my hand here, the W on my pinky. Right here, this W has been done 3 times, and it fades every time. I can't get that to go clear.
Yeah, because when I show my tattoo to like people, go, I really like your tattoo. I like your line work. Like, yeah, my friend did it. Like, my friend is doing tattoo almost like 16 years or 20 years, 15 or 20 years doing tattoos. And you do a really amazing job doing line tattoo, shading, coloring, and much more.
Almost. There we go. See that? How it fades on the end? It's been done 3 times and it still fades like that. Hands are very difficult. If you can find someone that is good at fine line, they can get it to where it is deep enough but doesn't blow out. And because that's a struggle with hand tattoos, and since it varies like that, if you go too deep, you blow it out and it looks like a bruise. And if you don't go deep enough, it just doesn't stay. You wash your hands a lot, you use your hands a lot. Like when you're writing, the rubbing, that's why it's like, especially this outside, I think that's where you said you have it done. That gets a lot of rubbing, a lot of friction, especially during healing. You're not supposed to have any friction or rubbing because it can cause the ink to be pulled out. So if you can find a good fine line artist that has a good, make sure you look at portfolios. Don't just trust them at their word. Check out their work. If you can, check out.
Yeah, check any tattoo artists that have a good portfolio. Now we have social media now. They'll post it in their Instagram, Facebook. That's their portfolio right there. More into the social media. Sometimes they'll have it in shops.
If they have reviews. But yeah, a fine line artist will definitely help you out. Thank you so much, Roger, for finding that question. Oh, Belfast asked about Flurio's stuff. Yes, definitely. That would be really cool. I would love to hear her stories too. Chelsea Roberts, numbing cream freaks me out. I can understand that fear. I have heard horror stories. Apparently some man decided he was going to do his whole chest in one weekend, and he did so much lidocaine on his chest that he had a heart attack. So it's good and it's fine for small tattoos. I don't recommend it for huge areas. I usually do line work, and then when I go back to fill in, I do the numbing cream then, because the lines are put down. You don't have to worry about your stencil getting wiped away or your numbing cream getting wiped away or anything like that. You have everything ready, and then you just put your numbing cream over the healed line work when you go back to fill it in, and the line work isn't as painful also. So if you do the line work first and then fill it in with numbing cream, that's my favorite way to do it, because I don't mind the line work. I don't think it's that painful. Some people think it is really painful. That's the thing about tattoos. Everybody has a different experience. So when you ask someone what's the most painful tattoo, what's the best place to get a tattoo, that kind of thing, everybody's different.
Yeah, for my tattoo, it's the arm. It's really good. It doesn't hurt right here, nothing. But if you go under here, it hurts more. I feel the pains there.
Like just a second ago, I didn't think the elbow was that bad, but I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it, but you thought it was bad. So, and the ribs. I've seen people cry getting their ribs tattooed. I have my ribs tattooed on both sides, and it's horrible. I hated it. I have an unfinished piece that I will probably never touch again because I sat 4 times and it's still not finished.
Yeah, like around like the bone area, or hurt more, or the rib cave, or your foot, or your palm, or your hand. Like it's more like if they have bones and less meat, will hurt more, in my opinion.
But I've seen people not even mind their ribs being tattooed. So. Rudy said, yeah, part of my right wrist had blurred and didn't heal right because I kept rubbing it on my desk. Yeah, that's the thing about hand and tattoos, that you're having a lot of contact with that part of your body with other things. Like, yeah, if you work a job where you're rubbing on something all day, my mom, that happened to her. She had one here that I did on her. It was a cardinal bird, and she had a mouse pad at work that she rested her forearm on, and then also her regular pad. And that mouse pad was used by everybody, and she absentmindedly set a fresh tattoo on it, and it got infected. So that's another thing. Tattoo infections can happen in a flash. Take care of your tattoos. The best thing nowadays that I've tried myself and absolutely love is the Tegaderm or the Second Skin, any of those brands where it's this clear plastic that they stick over your new tattoo, and it sticks and stays for up to 5 days. I have traveled with Brent. I did this whole session on this arm and then traveled for 48 hours on a few different planes.
Yeah, because back in the days, they use like the plastic you buy at the store to cover it. Then now they have a new thing for what Stevie saying. You can take a with the patch, cover it. You can take a shower with it. Wait for 5 days, then clean it with antibacterial soap. Then you use lubrication lotion.
to get across the world. So that stuff is awesome. It protects the tattoo. It helps it heal because it's keeping all of those vital things inside, just in that little plastic. So those things are awesome. If you can wear those for a couple days, your tattoo will heal really well. And you can buy that stuff. Like if your tattoo artist doesn't offer it, you can buy it at like your local pharmacy, like in America, at a Walgreens or CVS will have them. How fast, Luis, have you got your settings so that you can receive them? Obviously, they're done randomly. Promise. Not my fault. Sorry, I don't know what's going on there. I missed a lot of conversation, you guys. I'm sorry. Kristen said, told my artist I'd just Sharpie in the rest. There have been so many times I have colored in the rest of my tattoos with markers just because I wanted to see what it looked like finished and I didn't want to go get it done. The one in my head, when I used to shave my head, one of my nieces used to like to color on it with her markers because it's just black and gray and she wanted the mermaid type color, so she'd color in my head tattoo. I have a picture of that somewhere where she's doing it at a restaurant. She has crayons and she was convinced that the crayons would be able to color in my tattoo. So she tried. Gray Duck Paranormal. Yep, my wife and I both got our hands tattooed for our wedding. I didn't mind it. I got a full flower on the hand connected to the ring part. My wife really struggled with her ring tattoo. Yes, I have heard some people don't mind the hands, and I've heard a lot of people, myself included, hate the hands. It feels like fire to me. It feels like you are tattooing with a flame into my skin, and I don't like it. I hated having both my hands tattooed. I love the tattoos. I actually have, see if I can get it to focus and show you. This one here, this little squiggly, that's a matching tattoo I have with my mom. And then this little guy is to commemorate my sewing and love for Sally, because this is a piece of her dress. And then I have this bouquet was an addition. It's so pretty. Her hands used to be really ugly, so I had that addition. But yeah, I also have a matching tattoo with my brother. This one right here. This guy right here. It's a birch tree. I keep forgetting there's a mic and I should be talking into it. But my brother and I got birch trees because when we were kids, there was this birch tree in a yard across the street from ours, and the woman who owned it said we could play in it whenever we wanted, and we used to climb all the way to the top all the time, and we loved it. And so we decided that would be our matching tattoo. And then my mom and my brother's, their matching tattoos. I did those for them. That was a really cool experience, tattooing my family. Wrists were my tap out. Kristen said, yeah, the wrists, when it gets to the bendy part, I cry. That burns so bad. I do not like that part. And then it hurts for days after. It's like a very distinct pain, very interesting. Belfast said, I have the Celtic symbol for my mom and son on my wrist. My son calls it the big rocket and the little rocket. Oh, that's so cute. My brother has a few tattoos for family members. He's got a Native American symbol on his forearm for his little brother that passed away. It's a symbol for protection. And then he's got I think his name and date in it. It's really cool. The wrists are hard. Yeah, I don't like the wrists. Thank you, Kiwi, for sharing Alicia's page. My colors have lasted really well. All of my tattoos that were done by Alicia have held up so nicely. They look so good still. I just put a little, like, if they're looking kind of older, I just put a little lotion or oil on them and they look so good. I've got so much color in my chest here. I have this center piece here is the Jolly Roger ship, and then it's coming out of a book because I love stories and fairy tales and like all of that stuff. So I have the Jolly Roger bursting out of the book. And then I have roses on either side. One has a lock, one has a key. When I got that, the symbolization for me was only I hold the key to my heart because I just had it broken really badly. So I have several breakup tattoos, actually. So my knuckles are also a breakup tattoo. It says, this too will pass. And I got that because of a bad breakup, and to remind myself that even though things get really hard sometimes, it'll pass and it'll get better again. It's just a cycle of life. So that helps me also remain positive in life. I used to be a really negative person, depressed a lot, always down on everything, including myself. And I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And a lot of my tattoos are kind of part of that journey where I learned to love me and learn to not sweat small stuff and to not be so negative all the time and choose positivity. So that's part of my tattoo journey. Oh my gosh, the conversations that are happening over here are great. Mike's sister said, had a decent job at the time, so if I wore a nice shirt, you wouldn't see anything. Yeah, that's a thing about tattoo placement. If you want to work in certain industries, you need to be careful where you put your tattoos. It is not so much a thing anymore. I'm grateful to see that because I have struggled getting jobs before. I was a dance teacher at one point, and I was a professional ballerina for a long time, which is why I have my point shoes here. And I was done by my tattoo artist, Nico. He's a really good friend of mine. He also did the unicorn on my ribs that I forgot to get a picture of, but it's a beautiful unicorn that's not finished because it hurt really, really, really bad. And Nico moved away, and so I don't see him very often. I used to see him like once a year when he traveled back to town, but then I started traveling, so anytime he was here, I was not. And his work is amazing. He has evolved into an incredible, unique artist. He does really cool stuff, a lot of bone tattoos, skull tattoos, but in very artistic ways. Not like your old school thinking of like old flash tattoos of skulls and stuff, but like his stuff is really good. A lot of tribal designs. There's a lot of face tattoos that are really beautiful. His stuff is really good. I sent his Instagram to Kimmy too. I don't think he has a website, but he might. It might be on Instagram, but he doesn't have a YouTube, so I don't have a YouTube. I can thank you guys for that. But he's really cool. His stuff is amazing. He is Native American and one of my oldest friends, and I love him to death. And I miss getting tattooed by him. I have ideas for stuff if I ever get to see him again for tattoos, but he's doing amazing, and I'm really proud of him. He has an amazing shop, and yeah, I love Nico. He's a good buddy. Mary Jane said, my foot swelled up after a cover up and I couldn't walk for 3 days. My foot went back. Woohoo, I can talk to time. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you could talk to time. Yeah, feet tattoos are something else too. They suck. I don't particularly like having my feet tattooed. My left foot is a double cover up. I had one tattoo and tried to cover it with something else, and then I had to fix that cover up. So yeah, it's still bad. I won't be showing that one off. I don't particularly care for it, but eventually it will be beautiful when Alicia Bow gets a hold of it. So.
VicPia, a video enhancer, is an AI video quality enhancer. You can.
We said, I love those bones behind you and always forget to ask you about it. Oh yeah, this is my Great Dane that I have the tattoo of on my forearm. That is Anubis, and he was my Great Dane for almost 12 years. I had him since he was an 8-week-old puppy, and he was my buddy. He went everywhere with me. We traveled across the country. We moved across the country 2 times. He almost moved to Ireland with me. He was trained to be able to fly on a plane, which was really cool. We went through some training with him, and he was so smart and such a good boy. And I knew when he passed, I just had to do something really unique and creative to have a memory of him. And I initially thought maybe I'd turn his ashes into a diamond or a necklace or something like that, because I'd heard you could do that. And then I thought, well, I'm a really big weirdo, and I love specimens. I love bones. I actually have his heart preserved as a wet specimen in a really beautiful jar downstairs in my mantle. I'll have to bring that up one day and show you guys. It's really pretty. My friend Haley of HD Dark Oddities, I'll link that in the description. I did not send that link to Kiwi. I thought I was so prepared today. But yeah, HD Dark Oddities on any social media. And she does beautiful taxidermy work, not your traditional taxidermy, but like really artistic taxidermy that is gorgeous. She does the bone art. She does mummification. But yeah, I found this by Googling creative ways to memorialize your pet. There's whole websites. Initially, his bones were cleaned by Odd Articulations, a guy named Dalton in Alabama. Haley helped me get his body ready to send to Alabama. And then Dalton did a very natural cleaning of the bones where he buried them, and nature did the thing. And then when he pulled them back up, he cleaned them and made sure they were good for making art. I initially wanted to articulate them, make them look like a dinosaur in a museum, but he passed a cancer and it had spread to his bones and made quite a bit of them too brittle to work with like that, and you have to like drill into them and stuff for that kind of thing. So we ended up making this art piece. Haley found the frame and she assembled it and made it beautiful, and then she found the butterfly to put on his nose. And the butterfly is because the day after he passed, I saw the biggest monarch I've ever seen just fly into my backyard and hover in front of my face for a minute and then fly away.
Yeah. So right here in my forearm, right? I don't know, you cannot see it, but I need to take a picture. So I have a tattoo of my dog, Princess, but my family and sort of my friend, we call her Chucha. She is a Maltese, and she passed away. And I have a tattoo memory of my dad. Next, I need to get my mom, memory of her, because this arm is more family that passed away. And I need to see my friend because my friend moved to up north and he used to live here. So he moved about 2 years ago. So I need to see them to finish my tattoos.
And so I thought, oh, that's Louie coming to say bye to me because I'm a big woo weirdo like that. So that's why he has the butterfly. Thank you for asking about that. I love talking about that. It's that's why it's hanging there. So anytime someone wants me to talk about it, I'm more than happy to. So yeah, that's my new dog. All right. I'm sorry I keep coughing. I really feel like I'm getting sick, like I have a sore throat or something going on.
What if one product link could make your next winning ad?
textured.
This is the easiest way for Shopify and dropshipping sellers to create ready-to-use product videos. Just open Pixverse Marketing Hub and paste your
Let's see here. Oh my gosh, there's so much I've missed. I love how everyone's chatting in the chat too. Looking for questions. Anybody has any questions? We're talking about needle fears now. I don't like needles, but tattoo needles are okay. It's a weird difference. It's a weird difference. Great Duck Kernels. That's a really unique art piece. What an amazing way to remember your furry companion. Thank you. I don't know if you saw it earlier, if anybody missed it, but this is him. This is my tattoo of him and his big old toes. He had the biggest feet. And this was his pig right here. That's his pig. He had a stuffed pig that my Nana bought him, and he just loved his stuffed pig, so it had to go in the tattoo. Oh my gosh, I'm out of time. I just realized. Okay, before I go, does anybody have any questions? I don't think I missed anything I wanted to tell you about. Check back in my photos here. I showed you my head tattoo. Oh, when I was traveling in Thailand, I met a girl who had the exact same tattoo as me in almost the exact same spot. If this will catch it. Come on, camera. Maybe not. It's my corpse bride tattoo, and she had the exact same one. We just randomly met in Thailand, so I thought that was really cool. That's me and her there. This was in Pattaya, Thailand. I went from Chiang Mai down to Bangkok and then down to Pattaya, and that's where I met her. Oh yeah, the last thing I want to show you. This is one of my most fun projects that I've ever done. My senior photo next to a photo 15 years later. 15 years? Yeah, I think this was done. No, it was done almost 20 years later. I don't know. Anyways, I am not tattooed and then fully tattooed. And the same exact dress. I love this picture so much. I think I was 17 in the first photo and in my early 30s in the second photo. So I don't know math, but yeah, that was a fun time. So any questions before I go? Question, do you think some people use tattoos as a replacement for self-harm as a tattooist? I wondered about that. That's a very good question, and yes, I do. I spent a lot of time in therapy. I was a very traumatized human. My brain was very messed up from self-trauma and outside trauma, but I was a self-harmer when I was very young, in my teens. And when I discovered tattooing, kind of gave this same release, this control, this feeling of also release and control at the same time. It's a very strange thing. I did I wrote a paper in college about self-harm because I was very curious about learning about it, having experienced it, and then discovering tattoos. And then in therapy, I explained to my therapist that I like getting tattoos because they make me feel better, and I consider them therapy. Tons and tons of tattoo people consider tattoo time therapy, and she agreed. If it makes you feel good, it's better than self-harm because it's productive. It gives you something beautiful as a result versus hurting yourself for no reason. So yeah, I definitely think there is a correlation, and that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. Let's see, did I miss any other questions? I hope you have a great weekend too, Luis. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you too, Chelsea, thank you. You too, Glitter. I missed all your comments, Glitter. I saw you were conversing with everybody and I loved it, so I didn't read a lot of those out loud. But thank you for being here. And Belfast, thank you guys all for being here. Any more questions? Great, that was a great question. I really like that. Hi, Eric. Yeah, rewatch. I showed some pictures. I told some stories, talked about tattoo removal, all that good stuff. Feel free, Belfast, anytime you want to pick my brain about, or you were talking to me, Jamie, pick anybody's brain. Tattoos are, I love that topic. I should have read that all the way through before I said anything. Truth or demons. That's why my tattoos are on my wrists, so I would never do anything to my wrists as I'd ruin them. That's a good one too. I've heard that before. I have seen people get words. I had a friend that had the word relax on her wrist to remind herself to relax. I've seen lots of people tattoo on their wrists for reminders for that very reason. Yes. Thank you so much, Roger. I'm glad you tuned in, and I'm glad you had a good time. I hope everyone else had a good time too. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kiwi, as usual. And there wasn't much chaos today. I couldn't handle it today. All right, I think I'm caught up. And if I did miss anybody's question, I am so sorry. Foggy brain today. Having a hard time reading through the chat today. But if you have questions, feel free to comment after. Message me. Hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, or the email is truthordemons@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions anytime, and I'll figure out a topic for next week. And post that soon too. So you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Oh, I do have Facebook, James. Yes, just Truth or Demons podcast on Facebook, Instagram. Those are the two places I check most. So, all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
So it was great learning about Stevie tattoo history. Where did she get the tattoo from? I didn't know she was a tattoo artist. I really found out because I'm part of this community more. And I think Flario, oh, she's gonna mad at me, pronounce her name wrong. But she told us about that. Stevie used to be a tattoo artist. I go, what? Then I look into Stevie True and Demon podcast, and boom, what there she told us about tattoo. She's the tattoo artist. I know a little bit of tattoo experience. I never had a tattoo artist, but I have friends that hang out with are tattoo artists, and I learned from them. And also, I used to be an artist, and I was in art classes. I've been to art museum, learning about Van Gogh, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Bacchus. Let's keep on going. And I'm more like into like the Picasso style of artwork. Rembrandt. Man, the list keep been a while. I learned so much history art, but I transferred to I changed my major to child adolescence to become a counselor or help young kids or teenager in counseling. And I have a bachelor's degree, so glad. And so far, yeah. So what do you think about this Stevie tattoo stuff? Like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you on the next video. Peace. Rudy is out. All right, guys. Whew. Next, let's talk about my guy. Beardo. So I need to fix everything, get everything ready, set it. Is it this one? I don't remember. No, that's too small. All right. So Beardo got scared. Amazing content creator. The best debunker. You like to talk about horror movies. Also, a lot of stuff. Beardo got scared and play video game. Then to does introduce me to him. Not introduce me to the channel. So great guy, funny guy, love him.
Widows, boss of ghouls, how are we all doing? So, Tony Spera has been on a rant. Apparently, he's really annoyed at skeptics.
So, people don't know who is Tony Spera. Tony Spera is Ed Lorraine Warren's son-in-law, married to Judy Warren. If you watch the Conjuring movie, you know who they are. So, this what's going on for you, Spera. Take it away, man. Bloody hell, Rudy, I will take it.
Who'd have seen that coming? So we're on the New England Society for Psychic Research, because they haven't blocked me yet, which is fantastic, because they've blocked anybody that questions or anybody that
Come on, who want to block Beardo? Great content creator. Look at him, it's great. And then
agrees with him because, you know, you got to control that narrative. So here's the rant. Ed and Lorraine Warren, pioneers of the paranormal. Are they? I mean, they did monetize bullshit quicker than most. Ed and Lorraine Warren paved the way for today's paranormal society of investigators. I mean, they paved the way for me. They have
so, you know, Ed Lorraine is a instigator, you know, to go to, like, if you watch the Conjuring movies, basically paranormal activity, all the stuff, you know, the Conjuring 1, talk about Bathsheba, then the one, Conjuring 2, Conjuring 3, The Devil Make Me Do It, much more details, but they know, like, Ed and Lorraine are fake. They use people for money.
actually had an impact on me. And that impact is I want to be nothing like these people. They've influenced many of my friends and colleagues that want to be nothing like them. They took the slings and arrows of the naysayers, the hecklers, non-believers, and closed-minded individuals. Ah, Tony, you massive bulb. It is not close-minded to question somebody claiming to have otherworldly gifts. In fact, it's more close-minded to believe without question that Lorraine had superpower abilities. She is not Jean Grey from the X-Men. Non-believers, Ed.
So basically, you know, Lorraine have psychic power, or you can see stuff. And you know, from the movies, yeah. Let's continue about Ed part.
Warren is a self-appointed, a self-taught, a self-trained demonologist. Screw it. I'm a self-trained demonologist. I've even got a certificate from one of those dodgy courses. Anybody can read a book and say they've now self-trained. Jesus. Yet they persevered and kept true to their principles, spreading a dire warning not to dabble in occult practices. Dabble in them. It doesn't do a damn thing. That's really irresponsible for me to say, to be fair, depending on your belief systems and stuff. I had a terrible experience with the Ouija board, but it's all up there as far as I'm concerned. Tirelessly driving around the country, investigating cases of haunted phenomena, assisting traumatized, frightened, and helpless families. But Ed and Lorraine Warren frightened families. Ed and Lorraine Warren went into these places, and everywhere they went, there was a demon. Everywhere they went, there was something dark, nasty, evil, and then they'd yoink bits of...
So, yeah, Ed and Lorraine went to different people's houses. There's a demon around here. I can sense it. Demon! Nah. Who think you are, Lorraine? Jean Grey from the X-Men? But Beardo said? No.
I can say it's contained in this. No, it wasn't. The scared family. You've missed out the part where the parent's father actually smacked Ed Warren in the jaw and threw him out of the house. Or the whole Conjuring 2 is based on Ed and Lorraine Warren coming all the way to the UK to help a family in need. That didn't happen. They turned up unannounced, had a quick look around, and were, yeah, on your way. Frightened, helpless families. No, they fed into fear. They made things worse. They should be respected. Should they? Exalted. Calm your tits, Tony. Fondly spoken of by today's paranormal investigators. I think that the Warrens should be held in the same regard as the Fox sisters. It was a show, it was a con, in my opinion. And for the most part, they are. Only in your circles, lad. Yet, there are those few that have never even met the Warrens. I don't have to meet somebody to smell bullshit. And even some who have, who speak ill of them, stating untruths, falsehoods, rumours, innuendo, basically just trashing them. Tony, this coming from you, I mean, let's go back a little. You were all over Warrens on TV as some sort of random interviewer, and you weren't. You were the son-in-law.
So, yeah, I think Tony Spera was in the Conjuring 4 movie, TV show. So you think you're big because you're in part A. Lorraine Warren family, Mary Judy Warren. So you think you're the big shot of that? No, you're not. Cause you want to be popular. You believe what people were saying, and people say Annabelle. They're more Annabelle doll. They're not only one. So I feel like the Annabelle doll is not real. It's just a mess with people and their mental brain think they're real.
No. But let's look at this a little for innuendos. There is a direct claim from somebody that lived with the Warrens. That is not an innuendo. That is her claims, and people have been speaking about it. Now, you being the son-in-law to say, well, I went to that house all the time. I was always there. I never saw anything untoward. Mate, I'm married. I don't bang the missus when I've got guests over. I sure as shit wouldn't be banging the babysitter. People keep those types of things, private. Just saying. Untruths. Everything you're saying.
Yeah, because Hollywood didn't show Ed. He is a pedophile. He raped, have sex with the babysitter. The Hollywood gonna make a movie about that? No, they keep it hidden, cause money, money.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Applies to the Warrens. They forced their religious beliefs on people, and I don't think they did it because they believed. I think they did it just for book deals and movie deals. And no, the Warrens weren't financially rich, but they didn't struggle for money as far as I can tell. But they weren't rich. They were probably just quite comfortable until Lorraine and Warner Brothers, the movie rights. Then she became rich. It makes one wonder what kind of people these are. These jealous, or not jealous of somebody that fucked his babysitter and his wife apparently knew all about it. Envious, small-minded individuals who speak flippantly ill of the dead. Tony, if somebody is a bad person in life, they're still a bad person in death. I don't subscribe to this whole thing of they've passed, let's just remember all the good they did. No. If you're a shitbag in life, you're a shitbag in death. In fact, career criminals and, nonces, etc., the grave should read, here lies a nonce. Don't leave flowers. He was a bit of a... When Ed was alive, he had no problem facing and debating bullies and hecklers and wise guys. Ed was a bully himself. The way Ed spoke in interviews to anybody that dared disagree with him...
That's true. I remember watching a video. Ed was fighting with some other guy. So he was being a bully. That was facts. And I saw the interview. Or somebody showing me that.
Was just the most blatant disrespect, finger wagging, trying to intimidate I've ever seen. Losing his shit, disgraceful, horrible behaviour. And the hid behind God to do it. But Ed is no longer able to do that. That's where I come in. By all means, defend them, Tony, but you're just the son-in-law. You're just the guy that interviewed them here and there. I will not tolerate these cowardly, big-mouth, small people any longer. What are you going to do about it, Tony? What are you actually going to do about it? Oh, you're going to defend them to my very end. And the real reason is simple. They were fantastic people. No pretense. They may have been fantastic people to you, but many of the people that these guys went to their homes have got really bad things to say about them. No pretense. They never went anywhere and came away saying there's nothing there. It's fine. It's your mental health. It was all about how they can get a book out of it, how they can grow their reputation so they can do talks, and how they can get rich off scaring the shit out of people. No.
True. Because they did the movies. They have books and Lorraine Warren's. TV next another Conjuring TV spinoff from Warner Brothers. Tony just want the money. That's it. Money of their stepdad and stepmom, because the war, because he want to be popular, in my opinion.
What the hell is that? No braggadocio. I have no idea what that is. Just honest, hardworking, kind people. You know, listen, they travelled, they went places, they probably worked hard on bullshit. Some of them have called them charlatans, frauds, fakers, etc. Because yes, yes, and yes. There is more proof out there, Tony, to suggest that they were charlatans, frauds, and fakers than there is that Lorraine had a gift or Ed was a nice person. They were none of these things. According to this son-in-law, who, I'm sorry to say, you have a horse in this race. You are still making money off Ed and Lorraine Warren's name. For example, hiring out the biggest collection of haunted tat in the world. Rather, they were loyal, God-fearing people whose sole purpose was to help afflicted families
Facts.
and those tormented by evil entities. They tried to get a murderer off a murder charge by blaming the devil. That guy was not. He was a drunk that unalived somebody over jealousy. Not the devil. Ed and Lorraine tried to get a murder charge turned.
In the Conjuring, their movie, The Devil Made Me Do It, to talk about David Glonstone or Tony Glonstone, and I wanted to do. I keep on messing up the name. Sorry about that. If I say it correctly, let me know in the comments.
Over and blamed a fictional being. And the mission included educating people in regard to the dangers of following Satan or practicing black witchcraft. Whatever. Ed and Lorraine taught me everything I know about the paranormal realm and demonology. So you were taught by a self-taught. Means nothing, does it, Ed? It means nothing at all. You're just hanging off their name. Usually I try to ignore these incidents of loud-mouthed, uneducated individuals who trash talk about the Warrens. What university did Ed go to? What university did Lorraine go to? What university did you go to? Ed and Lorraine Warren were not educated or highly educated, same as I'm not. I completed school, I went to college. Doesn't mean I'm educated, but it doesn't mean I'm uneducated. And you certainly can't judge people how they were educated against two people that weren't educated.
Yeah, I want to know where you get your education from, Tony. You went to Ed Lorraine University? I had to throw that joke around.
They just bullshitted. But I've decided that enough is enough. Oh, here we go. He's going to put us in our place here. For those trash talking, go back down. Why have you written it like this? Go back down into mommy's basement to play with your video games and make TikTok videos and pop some more bonbons. Tony, if you're calling certain people fat here, you may want to check out a fucking mirror. You're not exactly slender like a snake, are you? Play with your video games. I mean, if people want to play video games, make TikTok videos, make Facebook video, who are you to judge when your entire career is based off what your in-laws did? You have made an entire career of trying to get onto TV and movies and stuff because of stuff your in-laws did. And let's not forget, the newest Conjuring movie, your part in that was severely overplayed. They made you look like a handsome hero. You are none of those things. Or a knob. Let us grown-ups do the real
True. Facts.
work, Tony Spera. You are fighting an imaginary war against a made-up villain, you complete buffoon. You can't sit there, type all this, and then be like, let the grown-ups do the talking, or let the grown-ups do the real work, when you're fighting imaginary beings. Now, even if, and I hope there is a God, I hope there is a devil, and I hope there's something after this life, I genuinely do. But to not question it, and to believe so fully in it, in something that you cannot see, cannot feel, cannot hear, cannot prove, that's the childishness. That's an imaginary friend, Tony. And you want to let the real grown-ups do the talking. This is where you've misunderstood and really overstretched, yeah? You're the child. You're the one believing in imaginary people, imaginary beings, and you're the ones holding up charlatans and frauds on pedestals, saying that if anyone questions them, they're childish and they're stupid, they're uneducated. Tony, with the greatest of respect, you have none from me. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. You weird, weird, strange man.
Yeah, Beardo. Tell him, Beardo. Tell him that.
Your in-laws, the New England Society for Psychic Research, and all of the offshoots of it, you lot are holding the paranormal back by a century. You lot are the reason that people look at the paranormal and go, the movies were cool, but it's all a lot of nonsense in it. Look at what they believe. The Warrens are responsible for that to a massive degree. The Warrens up on these pedestals has been laughable to me since, I don't know, about 1999. So do please let me know what your thoughts are in the conversation down below. This is double upload. I'm uploading this to Facebook and YouTube to make sure Tony sees this, because Tony, you've acted like a bit of a prat. Much love to you all. Beardo out.
It will automatically scan the video and then create
So why are you talking about Beardo? About Tony Spera? It was great. Beardo, you handle it with a real champ. Beardo will say, fuck off to Tony Spera. Well, I hope you learn something new every single day. Like, comment, share. See you on the next video. Peace. Sorry guys, I'm back. Let's talk about my merch again, but a better. Oh, what one? All right, guys. So let you guys know, I did a merch store. I just wanted to say thanks to Dust for helping me. Started of it 2 days ago. Yeah, it was the first day was kind of hard doing on my own, but thanks Dust to helping me creating it, showing me all the tip step by step. And you know what? Thanks to him. So, oh yeah, I need to send you the guys the link of my merch. Sorry, I forgot to do that in the first video. So here, the merch link. So I did in my logo, the Big Rudy Show, with the coffee mug. And you can get 11 ounce and a 15-ounce coffee mug, a sweater with different colors of my logo, stickers, tumblers, black or white in the background, shirts, different color. Then you get chucha or We call her real name is Princess Angel Wings. Sweater, coffee mug, sticker, tumbler with a cute little button shirt with a coffee, a purple beanie. Same thing. You can get different colors. Coffee mug. So basically the shirts are the same price. The tumblers are the same price. The stickers is the same price. And the coffee mug is the same price. Nothing changed. But there are more designs are coming soon. And this company, when you order, this company ship it to you guys, not me. So you can get, glad I'm not doing the shipping. So the company, I make the design and then they make the products and they ship them for you. So that's it of my merch. So this is not hate merch. This is like a doggy slash something funny, you know what I mean? And so far, that's it on my merch store. Hope you like them. Go pick up some Rudy merch. And see you on the next video. Peace. And so far, that's it. Then we're going to show Dead Meat Award Night.
This is a truth.
So, Dead Meat, it's my favorite entertainment to watch, a show to talk about horror movie, recap, a little bit of history. They do, also Jane and his wife love WWE and AEW also. And they do movie reviews and award nights. And they have special guests, actors. And it's for use.
Story. It happened right here in my town. Last year, we told lots of scary stories. Usually, the judges and the top awards people ignore those kinds of stories. But this year, something weird happened. This year, they didn't.
Death doesn't like it when you fuck with his plans. It's a bad magic killer monkey.
The long walk is the answer.
I'm environmentally conscious. The days of you controlling me are over. We can bring it back.
Welcome to Freddy's.
There is weapon used.
You keep dancing with the devil. One day he's gonna follow you home.
It's time to honor the best in horror from 2025 with the 5th annual Dead Meat Horror Award.
So this is Dead Meat Horror Award 2026, the 5th anniversary they did it. Well, remember I did the Name Should Not Spricken Universe Award? Though I want to do that. So thank you for Dead Meat to bring that to my idea. Though I did the award night. Next, maybe I should do the Rudy Award or the Dust Award, or the Promoter Award, YouTube. I would call it the Rudy Awards, Rudy Universe Award.
Awards. So run, don't walk to your seats, and welcome your hosts, James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dead Meat Horror Awards, where we honor the best of the genre from the past year.
The past year being 2025. We know the show's a little late this year. Sorry about that.
This year's show is being filmed at Slasher World, a horror-themed retail store and event space located on Melrose here in Los Angeles.
As we head into our 5th year of doing these awards, we found ourselves reflecting on just how much horror's place in the public eye has changed.
When we handed out our first prime rib in 2022, it was to help recognize a genre that's long been ignored by the traditional award shows. But this year, horror was at the forefront of those very shows.
Movies like Sinners and Frankenstein commanded the awards show circuit, while others like Weapons, The Ugly Stepsister, and Jurassic World Rebirth were also recognized at mainstream film awards.
So this time, our ceremony, alongside other shows like the Saturns and the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, feels less like an outright alternative for horror movies. Instead, tonight's a celebration of how far the genre's come after a truly triumphant year.
At the same time, we'll continue shining a light on the rest of the genre, the films and franchises that may not get recognition in traditional film spaces, but still hold a special spot for all of us fans.
After all, the horror genre is more than just a few successful standouts. It's also splattery slap.
Rudy, the award, I will buy my VIP. All right, Cole. You get the VIP.
Slashers and inventive sequels, CG creatures and practical puppets. It's experimental and schlocky and everything in between. And here at Dead Meat, we love it all.
Tonight, we'll be handing out 12 awards voted on by a panel of critics, fans, and experts who love the genre just as much as we do. But first, let's get things started with our friend and co-host, Zoran Gavoyich.
It seems like every year it gets harder and harder to narrow down the nominees for this show. Our final selections include 23 different films. But of course, there were many, many more released in 2025. To honor them and their contribution to the genre, we present you with a montage. Enjoy.
Oh man, what's the commercial? James!
And something's changed. Something's different.
Dead is just a word. Fear is just the warm-up.
Oh, Black Phone 2? Awesome movie. Love it.
You're the one I came
Sinners.
for. I sensed you. Let's be pals.
Welcome to Freddy's.
Friday Nights at Freddy's.
Kids can be so heartless.
We're gonna kill every last one of you.
You thought me a monster. Now I return the favor.
There's something wrong with Laura.
We can bring her back.
License, please! And action!
Ice Candy. Great movie.
Remember how perfect it all was? Everybody dies. And that's life.
Wait.
things can get very
Recipe to Tony Todd. Candyman.
messy.
What the fuck?
Last year,
What's that, Domino, Rudy? Yep. This is Dead Meat Horror Movie Award. If you love horror movies, go for it. But this is like a war night.
the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced that the Oscars would finally include a category for stunts, starting at their 100th show in 2028. It's long-deserved recognition for a craft that's been around since the silent film era.
I mean, we've had this category since our first show, but nobody's keeping track.
No, of course not.
In the world of horror, human bodies are often pushed in strange and frightening ways. But in the world of production, it's the job of stunt coordinators and choreographers to ensure those bodies aren't pushed too far.
Here to present the finalists for Best Stunts in Choreography is a man who's put his body on the line to play a horror icon or two.
Thanks, James and Chelsea.
Ken Hodder. If you know him, he's a legend. He played Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th. He's one of my bucket lists. I need to get his autograph and signing and photo.
You know, I've played a lot of dangerous characters in my career, but it's important as a performer that the danger is never real. Hardworking stunt coordinators and stunt people are the true reason your favorite killers get to stick around for the sequel. And tonight, we're honoring this year's finest. The nominees for Best Stunts or Stunt Coordinating are Black Phone 2.
The Grabber's return as a supernatural force meant new challenges for the film's stunt team. Stunt coordinators Bronco and Gannon Rocky trained then 15-year-old Madeline McGraw to perform her wire work herself. McGraw also became scuba certified for the film's extensive underwater sequences.
Scott purposely wrote in some crazy things just because he knows that I would enjoy doing it so much.
For the film's climactic frozen lake battle, stunt double Jeff Meach used roller skates to play an ice skating grabber in a visual inspired by 1983's Curtains.
Dangerous Animals.
For this oceanic thriller where the killer uses sharks as a weapon, director Sean Byrne ditched the water tank, opting instead to shoot the film on an actual boat. That included 2 weeks of night shoots out at sea, with several scenes that saw the cast hanging in harnesses above the open water.
Still carrying the scars.
I don't think I can have kids anymore.
Stunt coordinator Aaron Dexter kept the actual dangerous animals away with the use of marine barriers, as well as designing main villain Tucker's bloody brawls as the film's fight coordinator.
You've probably seen the viral trend on TikTok and Instagram where people are taking their craziest text messages and turning them into
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Continuing the franchise's tradition of carnage, Bloodlines opens with a vertigo-inducing disaster in the fictional Skyview. The restaurant set was built on a soundstage, giving stunt coordinator Simon Burnett and key rigger Dustin Brooks the ability to capture the sequence's many perilous falls.
I don't think we've ever dropped 20 people all in one shot at one time.
For one memorable fire stunt, 71-year-old stuntwoman Yvette Ferguson became the oldest person ever to be set ablaze on camera.
Sinners.
Amidst its gravity-defying vampires, large-scale bar brawl, and many fire stunts, Sinner's most daunting sequence saw actor Miles Caton summon spirits from across time to the dance floor. The surreal scene combined everything from Lindy hopping to breaking to the traditional West African dance of Zauli.
This is the window that allowed for me to bring in so many different generations and eras and cultures of dance.
Choreographer Akman Hassani Jones not only oversaw dozens of dancers, actors, and crew members, but also had to keep track of which smokestack twin was on screen at any given time.
Weapons.
With running at the center of the film's premise, it's no surprise stunt coordinators Jennifer Badger, Lauren Chavez, and Glenn Foster were in charge of handling several chase sequences. One close-quarters altercation at a gas station required camera operator Connor O'Brien to shoot the scene on rollerblades. Another memorable sequence used fight choreography as comedy, with the character repeatedly thrown across a room. For Gladys's final climactic chase, 17 stunt performers with dwarfism, doubling for children, crashed through doors and windows made of balsa wood, and, in one instance, rode a pneumatic gate designed to collapse on command.
It's the sort of coup de grace of the film. It's the final moment where the bad guy gets hers. That's the kind of thing that you want to really land.
Wolfman.
Lee Winnell's reimagined monster needed more than a full moon to come to life. Stunt and fight coordinator Steve McQuillan helped sell the power of the beast through wirework and careful choreography. One particularly harrowing sequence saw the Lovell family trapped in an actual moving truck, suspended more than 20 feet in the air over the side of a cliff.
You have these huge action set pieces that, when it's all put together, it's very exciting and thrilling and scary. But when you're shooting it, it's very technical.
To roll this truck over and have it end up hanging off a cliff is insanely difficult.
And the prime rib for best stunt.
I just want to know who's going to win the best stunt or coordinator. I never watched it. This is my first time. Do a Black Phone 2 win? Or Final Destination? I'll be happy. What Cole say? Definitely. I just want to know who win.
Or stunt coordinating goes to Sinners.
Oh, come on!
Congratulations to the stunt team at Sinners. Dancing with the Devil never looked so good.
Congratulations to Sinners.
Horror fans worship at the altar of the practical, but there are some things flesh and blood just can't do. Visual effects artists are often taken for granted and waved away as computer wizardry. But well-crafted digital effects are a complex art form all their own.
Whether it's constructing impossible worlds, breathing life into new monsters, or making the human body do things it has no business doing, VFX can show us things we've only ever seen in our nightmares.
Let's take a look now at 2025's best digital effects.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. Horror films have been scaring audiences for over a century, and horror filmmakers have been trying to one-up each other for just as long. Digital effects give directors the tools to push their visions beyond the earthly realm. This year's nominees gave us prehistoric monsters, intergalactic threats, bodily destruction, and the kind of imagery that could only come from the depths of hell. The nominees for Best Digital Effects are The Conjuring, that's right.
VFX supervisor Scott Edelstein oversaw a team of 10 VFX houses to handle the many digital scares in the final Conjuring installment. They included several complicated mirror sequences and one memorable moment where a character is chased by a giant Annabelle doll.
She had just gone from being 3 feet to being 12. So she needed to look in pain and uncomfortable, but still able to come and get you.
The team also created several set extensions that turned a backlot in the UK into a 1980s Pennsylvania neighborhood.
Final Destination, Bloodlines.
VFX supervisor Nordine Rahali knew it was important to give the film's digital effects a basis in reality. For the opening sky view disaster, a custom LED volume wall was used to create an immersive backdrop, which was able to correctly reflect off of silverware and champagne glasses.
So you're able to do things like cue fire or rotate the background in real time or change the lighting environment.
The team also recreated the restaurant in CG, allowing them to place practical stunt work into a digital environment and provide digital enhancements to the movie's many, many kills.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage burrito is $2 on the under $3 menu.
Director Joseph Kahn had to work carefully and efficiently to shoot this creature feature on an indie budget.
If you can iterate precisely what you want, you can do 10 times the effects because you're not doing 10 times the takes.
He worked with the team at Ingenuity Studios to combine real sets with digital elements. And for one extended sequence, the team had to create a fully CGI environment to place the actors inside an upturned car.
Jurassic World Rebirth.
VFX supervisor David Vickery previously did effects.
Cool, that's your part right here. Jurassic Park. Bro.
For Jurassic World's Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. For Rebirth, however, he worked with director Gareth Edwards, who also had a background in visual effects, in order to approach animating the dinosaurs in a very different way.
One of the things that we decided to do on this film was only animate dinosaurs if we could find a real reference of a real animal behaving in a similar way.
Vickery and the team at ILM also created multiple environment extensions, including a believable digital ocean for the thrilling boat sequence. Sinners had plenty of bombastic digital effects, including a climactic fire tornado. But the film's hardest challenge by far was creating a digital twin of Michael B. Jordan that would stand up to a 65mm IMAX viewing. In order to achieve the seamless effect, VFX supervisor Michael Ralla and VFX producer James Alexander created a custom rig they called the Halo.
James and I were out for dinner, and all of this started as a napkin sketch. I was like, hey, how about a camera rig that they strap on?
The Halo rig captured Jordan's performance from every angle, which was then digitally applied to his body double by the team at Rising Sun Pictures.
Together.
In this intimate body horror film about love and codependence, writer-director Michael Shanks wanted the physical transformations to feel uniquely harrowing.
In the 80s, I feel like a lot of the body horror was kind of glossy and slimy, and I wanted this to feel kind of dry and painful.
For the body-merging finale, VFX supervisor Josh Simmons and the team at Framestore used a multi-pronged approach, including digi-doubles and models of bone and flesh, rebuilt from the ground up to mix realism with the supernatural. The team also created a composite of actors Dave Franco and Alison Brie for their characters' completed fusion.
The prime rib for best digital effects goes to...
I just want to know who's going to win. Sinner or Final Destination or Jurassic World or Jurassic Park or Co. That's my pick.
Together. Congratulations to the team of Together.
Cole would say, "That bunch of bull crap, mate. We'll be dinosaur all the way, mate." Am I right, Cole?
Monogamy has never looked so terrifying and so terrific. Great job.
Congratulations to Together. Those effects really got under our skin.
Since the black and white days of Jack Pierce and Lon Chaney Sr., practical effects have been a crucial part of scary movie making. Effects artists can take latex, silicone, plaster, and paint and mold them into incredible cinematic moments.
Over the past century, this art form has evolved alongside the filmmaking industry. Live casting has become 3D scanning, puppeteers wear green morph suits, and new tech has revived the old art of miniatures. But as much as things change, the goal is always the same: to bring audiences something that feels real and tangible.
Highlighting this year's best practical effects is a performer who's been up close and personal with handcrafted horror.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. Whether a movie needs a messy kill or an ugly mug, a great effects artist can make any director's wishes come true. Tonight's nominees brought life to mechanical monsters and monstrous humans. They tore our bodies apart and put them back together again. Their work is not only impressive, it is downright otherworldly. The nominees for Best Practical Effects are Final Destination Bloodlines,
Special effects coordinator Tony Lazarovich and the team at Pacific West Special Effects went to great lengths to provide practical bases for Bloodline's many kills. That included a foldable version of actor Richard Harmon's torso and a full-body mannequin of a crushed Mater D.
They put it next to me and it freaked me out. The texture, everything, the coloring is me.
The team.
Yeah, Final Destination Bloodline was a great movie. Crazy.
Team's most difficult challenge came in the form of the garbage truck sequence. They created a compactor made of metal rods that harmlessly closed around actress Anna Laurie's head.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
A second outing to Fazbear's Pizza meant creating a new crop of animatronics. Once again, the job fell to Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Some characters were once again played by performers in suits, but the imposing mangle required a minimum of 13 puppeteers employing everything from remote control to classic rod puppeteering.
That is a lot of...
Damn, that's a lot of puppeteer. 13? Crazy.
Of performers to come together to sort of coalesce into a unified character.
The suits were designed by returning special effects supervisor Robert H. Bennett, who based his work off original character files provided by game creator Scott Cawthon.
Frankenstein.
Nobody ever shows you how to get AI video looking this real. The depth, the textures, the tiny details.
Guillermo del Toro's fantasy epic included many practical cadavers, but prosthetic makeup designer Mike Hill had to put most of his effort into creating Frankenstein's monster himself. Inspired by 19th century medical textbooks, Hill used different shades of the creature's skin to frame his features and anatomy.
I just played around with colors and forms and shapes that would make the actor's body feel powerful and feel put together, but put together by a man.
Jacob Elordi's towering creature combined aspects of Jack Pierce's iconic design and Mary Shelley's original description in a look that required 10 hours and 42 prosthetic appliances. His animalistic eye was achieved using a scleral contact lens with a bigger iris.
Sinners.
Coogler's violent vampire film spills a lot of blood, but special effects makeup and prosthetics designer Mike Fontaine regarded its gore as just another artistic medium.
If there's a wound, how can that shape be almost a beautiful shape or something that is compositionally balanced?
To make the movie's bloodsuckers stand out, Fontaine researched predatory animals, incorporating curved fangs that can hook into victims, and glowing eyes achieved by contact lens designer Christina Patterson. The film's fiery climax sees lead vampire Remic's true face revealed, using a combination of silicone prosthetics, blood rigs, smoke tubes, dentures, and fiberglass plates.
The Ugly Stepsister.
Director Amelia Blickfeld wanted her Cinderella story to feel real and tangible, which extended to its brutal body horror. Special effects and prosthetic makeup designer Thomas Foldberg created several practical rigs, including blood-spraying feet, rubber worms, and multiple replicas of actress Leah Miron's head for a sequence involving eyelid surgery.
My hope is that the more digital that can be made, the more people maybe want something that's actually handmade.
Foldberg's work included more subtle effects as well. To play the teenage Elvira, Miron wore prosthetics on her face, cheek, and neck, allowing her look to subtly change across the film as the character undergoes painful cosmetic surgeries.
Until Dawn.
Director David F. Sandberg has spent his career itching to make an effects-driven slasher, so he jumped at the opportunity with Until Dawn. An indie filmmaker at heart, Sandberg utilized just as many clever camera and editing tricks as he did special effects.
I am an old school horror guy at heart, and I wanted to take practical as far as we could.
For the sequence involving exploding bodies caused by tainted water, Sandberg worked with special effects coordinator Adam Tsuch to create blood-filled mannequins of the cast, allowing them to capture their combustions in camera.
And the prime rib for best practical effects goes to The Ugly Stepsister. Congratulations to the crew of The Ugly Stepsister.
Yeah, I think I forgot to pause it, but The Ugly Stepsister was really good. I didn't see it, but the effect was really good. Or Unbarking Dawn was really good.
For putting absolute beauty into their stomach-turning effects. Bravo.
Congratulations to the ugly stepsister for bringing true beauty to the ugly and gross.
Our next category honors a section of filmmaking that can be incredibly loud or essentially invisible. A good art department can design on-screen worlds that feel so detailed and fully formed, it's easy to forget that they haven't always existed.
This year's horror movies took us back to the past with period films ranging from Gothic Victorian times to the Jim Crow era South.
There were also more contemporary terrors like the compound of a satanic cult in an isolated village in the post-apocalypse.
But whether the goal was low-key and lived in or lavish and luxurious, these nominees rose to the challenge.
Presenting this award is a filmmaker whose colorful feature debut earned a nomination in this category last year.
Thanks, guys. Horror films frequently take us out of our comfort zones and our realities. Now, whether that's because we're going back in time or visiting a strange shop just around the corner, or in the case of so many movies, England. But going to these strange worlds is really only possible because of teams of talented individuals called production designers, just like tonight's nominees. The nominees for Best Production Design are 28 years later,
Married couple Gareth Pugh and Carson McCall pulled double duty as both costume and production designers for this zombie sequel. The centerpiece of the film was the Bone Temple built by Dr. Kelson, a massive and entirely practical set inspired by Lithuania's Hill of Crosses.
It was so amazing to see what the art department had done, and for a set that was kind of this dedication to the dead, it felt incredibly alive.
To create a quarantine zone frozen in time, Pugh and McCall focused on functionality, sourcing real clothing from 2002 to dress the 150 residents of the Lindisfarne commune.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
For this Final Destination's complex kills, Death's design was facilitated by several complicated sets, but none more so than the teetering Space Needle-inspired Skyview. Production designer Rachel O'Toole designed the restaurant's layout like a pinball machine, ensuring maximum chaos once the building began tipping to the side.
One of the key ideas that we all fell in love with was this idea that circles kill. The Skyview itself is round. The dance floor is round. Iris's pupil, her iris, is round.
The penny that kills them all.
You can just see almost every scene, that motif is created as a way of showing that death is coming for you.
Costume designer Michelle Hunter not only dressed the cast in 60s attire for this period opening, a first for the franchise, she also created multiple sets of the costumes to reflect different stages of destruction.
With Base 44, a simple sentence becomes your website.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Returning production designer Mark Fisichella was tasked with recreating Fazbear's Pizza from the first film, as well as creating a new pizzeria for this sequel, which took inspiration from the second game's location. This more elaborate setting, meant to be the original Fazbear's Pizza, included attractions such as a 200-foot-long river boat ride. After filming the scene that took place during the restaurant's prime, the set was then redressed to account for a 20-year time jump.
We drain the entire river when we're done shooting it, and then we'll fill it back up again when we're ready for it. Draining it in between, I got to really sort of rust out and algae up the walls inside.
Costume designer Whitney Ann Adams joined the FNAF subreddit and did extensive research for the various cosplays seen at FNAF Fest, making sure they looked like costumes created.
That's true. A lot of fans are a big fan of Freddy Fright Night.
Created by real-life fans.
Frankenstein.
For this tale of unholy creation, Del Toro wanted to push his team of craftspeople to their own creative limits. Production designer Tamara Deverell built 119 sets for the film, including the 8 sets that make up Victor's laboratory. The enormous ship Horisont was also a practical build, constructed of a giant gimbal that allowed Jacob Elordi to rock the ship back and forth.
Like I said, I want to do it the way we used to make movies, for humans, by humans, by hand.
For the cast wardrobe, costume designer Kate Hawley wanted to avoid complete period accuracy, instead incorporating fantastical elements and bold colors to evoke Mario Bava and Hammer horror films.
Him.
In director Justin Tipping's visually stunning football horror film, costume designer Dominique Dawson consulted sportswear brands to create a medley of striking looks, from the various costumes of the Savior's mascots to handcrafted pig masks. Those served as a reference to pigskin, as well as the pig's biblical role as a symbol for moral corruption.
The goal was to create this elevated couture experience of football and sports.
Production designer Jordan Farrer created the Savior's remote training facility, an extensive and oppressive set that combined iconography from football and paganism.
Sinners.
Production designer Hannah Beekler and costume designer Ruth E. Carter put extensive research into recreating 1930s Mississippi. The result is a period film that is painstakingly detailed, from the products in the segregated grocery stores on different sides of the fully constructed main street to the cotton fields, consisting of over 3,000 pieces of cotton hand-tied to each of the 1,200 plants.
It's not only a gift, it's more like a mission to tell the story and to bring people into awareness of people in the South who made something out of nothing.
The Smokestack Twins juke joint took 8 weeks to construct, using metal sheeting sprayed with boric acid to create actual rust.
And the prime rib for best production design goes to
Sinners. I don't know, just guessing.
Frankenstein. Congratulations to the entire Frankenstein team for a beautiful creation.
Congratulations to Frankenstein for bringing so many fanciful locations to life.
There are many things we hold near and dear here at Dead Meat. Our team, our pets, our life-size standee of Count Orlok. But if there's one thing at the heart of our channel, it's kills.
From shower stabbings to chest bursting, some of horror's most timeless moments are untimely demises. So it's only fitting we dedicate an award to highlighting this year's best and bloodiest kills.
If you'd like to avoid spoilers for the movies listed below, back out now, all right? You've been warned. Presenting the award for Best Kill is the actress on the receiving end of last year's winner, that yoga scene from In a Violent Nature.
Thank you, James and Chelsea.
You guys can type in the chat. You don't have to be scared. Just be you.
I don't think it's a stretch to say when it comes to death scenes, horror fans are particularly bloodthirsty. They plow through movies searching for a kill that will have them seated, and hopefully after the initial anguish, happy. This year's nominees have climbed the mountain of guts and gore and placed their corpse right at the top. The nominees for Best Kill are Eric in Final Destination Bloodlines.
Final Destination is a franchise.
Oh yeah, best scene in the hospital.
Is famous for its inventive Rube Goldberg-like kills. Bloodlines has some of the best in the series so far, but one bends over backwards to earn the top spot. When Eric tries to beat Death on behalf of his brother, Death fights back via an overactive MRI machine. The prolonged, brutal kill was achieved with a contraption resembling the classic magic trick of sawing someone in half, with a stunt performer serving as the actor's lower half. A realistic sculpture of his torso did the rest, with a combination of practical and digital effects creating the final result.
As a Final Destination fan, I feel like I got really lucky with my death.
Detective Shaw in Hard Eyes.
Director Josh Rubin wanted all of the kills in his Valentine's Day slasher to feel unique and memorable. That's certainly true for the climactic kill of Detective Shaw, who gets stabbed through the throat with her feet dangling above the ground, with gravity finishing things off. Jordana Brewster wore a prosthetic beneath her costume, with a blood rig designed by the special effects department. Other shots used a prosthetic head atop the sword-wielding statue created by the props department. A stunt performer in a green screen mask played Shaw's body for the finished effect.
It was true collaboration.
That's crazy. They use a green for their head. Crazy. I didn't know that for the screen freeze.
Between all of the departments, a really, really hard thing to do, but something that I think we're all really proud of because it looks revolting. It's so gross.
In this video, I'm going to be making a 3D game in just 1 hour, but all the 3D assets in the game.
And Ida in the monkey.
The titular toy in The Monkey causes complex mayhem for many victims, but Aunt Ida meets her end through a particularly unfortunate series of events. After getting a face full of fish hooks, a gas leak engulfs her head in fire, leading her to run into the pointed end of a for sale sign. All of the fire seen in the sequence was practical, much to the initial concern of actress Sarah Levy.
I kept asking, so what's the plan for when I'm actually on fire?
Levy was never actually on fire, but wore a device that mimicked the glow of flames on her face during her shots. The rest of the sequence was a combination of a stunt performer running around the house and a prosthetic head doused in lighter fluid and lit ablaze.
Bob in the Toxic Avenger.
The final boss of Toxie's quest for justice against the corrupt pharmaceutical.
Oh yeah, the remix, the reboot. Toxic Avengers. I met the old school Avengers. Toxic.
Company BTH is company owner Bob Garbinger. Garbinger meets a bloody end head first into the engine of a car in a dream kill for writer-director Macon Blair.
In my mind, it was very simple. It was just like he goes in the car and it turns on and he spins and blood comes out, but the actual mechanics of it turned out to be a little bit more of a science project.
The kill required fake legs, a centrifuge-like spinning mechanism, multiple blood pumps, and precise timing on set. With digital gore enhancement by Phil Tippett to finish things off, they turned Kevin Bacon into vehicular mincemeat.
The bathroom explosions in Until Dawn.
This tale of friends trapped in a terrifying time loop featured many memorable kills, but nothing quenched the audience's thirst for blood quite like a series of explosions that took the characters out one by one. After drinking tainted tap water, a gurgling stomach leads to a sudden and shocking bloody body burst. The fate subsequently
That scene is crazy.
plays out in a variety of ways, including one instance that happens limb by limb. The kills were achieved practically by using dummies filled with explosives and fake blood, which took some trial and error.
The first try, he didn't blow apart enough, and part of his torso landed on his still standing legs.
Blue smoke was turned red in post-production to resemble a bloody mist, and a particularly nasty leg explosion was achieved with a combination of fake legs and an amputee body double.
Aunt Gladys in Weapons.
Weapons ends with one of the most satisfying and shocking kills of the year. After stealing and imprisoning the town's children, Gladys's own witch magic is used against her, causing the kids to chase her down and tear her to pieces. Between the child actors and the logistics of the extended chase, it was the most challenging sequence to shoot, as shown in the film's nomination for stunts and choreography. The shots of the kids breaking down windows and climbing over fences were done using stunt performers. For Gladys's death, the actual child actors pulled apart a fake body and were sprayed down with fake blood.
I was worried about the psychological damage because I know what we do looks pretty real. And Zach's like, don't worry about it. They're cool. They'll have fun with it.
And the prime rib for best kill goes to
the bathroom scene or Sinners.
Eric in Final Destination
Final
Bloodlines.
Destination. I told you what's the
Congratulations to the entire cast and crew of Final Destination Bloodlines for a well-deserved win.
Congratulations to Final Destination Bloodlines for a kill so magnetic we couldn't look away.
Horror movie villains come in all shapes and sizes. You've got your Jasons, your Michaels, your Ghostfaces,
Your Pennywises, your Bruce the Sharks,
your Pazuzus, your Hannibal Lecters.
I mean, we could do this all night. The horror genre has no...
How about Art the Clown? It's all about Art the Clown. Come on, James. Just kidding.
shortage of iconic villains, which means it's a lot of pressure to create a new one. Luckily, talented filmmakers and performers are always up for the challenge.
Join us in highlighting 2025's baddest bad guys with the award for Best Villain.
Thanks, James and Chelsea.
Hey! David Howard Thorne. Art the Clown, Art the Clown, Art the Clown. Watch it, and there's something about David Hawthorne. We need to do something. We need to talk to someone for DC.
See? Now, every horror villain can be recognized from their costume, or their mask, or their weapons, or their tiny little hat. But truly great horror villains are much more than their accessories. They're known for their memorable line deliveries or their specific physical performances. They can come off surprisingly sympathetic or unnaturally inhuman. Every single one of the nominees tonight meets these ingredients, no matter what flavor of evil they are. And the nominees for Best Villain are Laura from Bring Her Back.
Sometimes the most terrifying villains are the ones who don't see themselves as villains at all. When writing the grief-stricken Laura, Danny Filippo wanted to create a character that the audience could empathize with, even though it would make them uncomfortable. Laura was once a good person who became twisted and broken over time, and Sally Hawkins' performance brings that duality to life as we see Laura alternate between caring and cruel. She struggles with the horrible acts she commits, but still goes through with them in an attempt to regain what she has lost. And that makes the experience of watching her all the more disturbing.
I'm gonna drown you in the pool now, love.
Tucker from Dangerous Animals.
Director Sean Byrne wanted his film about a shark-obsessed serial killer to counter the narrative of sharks as man-eating monsters, as depicted in films like Jaws. Here, the sharks are just animals, and the real monster is a man. Byrne worked with actor Jai Courtney to build Tucker's character around the Australian archetype of the larrikin, a boisterous, rough-around-the-edges man. They developed a traumatic backstory that left Tucker a violent, wounded man who identifies more with sharks than humanity. He's a unique addition to the canon of horror villains, part jolly beer-swilling boat captain, and part apex predator.
Yeah, you and me. We're sharks.
Oh, come on.
The animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
This highly anticipated sequel saw the return of Fazbear's Pizza, tons of Easter eggs from the games, and of course, the franchise's iconic animatronics. The original cast of Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy were joined by new versions from the second game, as well as the Marionette, a new antagonist pulling the strings throughout the film. Jim Henson's Creature Shop returned to design, build, and figure out how to puppeteer the new cast of characters. Voice actors Megan Fox, Matthew Patrick, and Kellen Goff provided the voices, while returning
I didn't know Megan Fox voice acting. That's crazy. I never watched it. I want to watch part 1, guys.
performers Kevin Foster, Jade Kindermartin, and Jess Weiss, among others, wore and performed in the bulky mechanical suits. Their efforts, as well as technicians operating remote controls, rod puppeteering, and wire rigs, brought Scott Cawthon's creations to life on the big screen.
The Heart Eye Killers from Heart Eyes.
For his Valentine's Day slasher about lovers being terrorized by a masked murderer, director Josh Rubin wanted a stylish killer who could live up to the...
That movie was good. You can watch it on Netflix. Or, what is it? Peacock. By great show.
High concept.
Movie.
The trench coat, mask, and variety of tools were inspired by Sam Raimi's 1990 film Darkman, while the overall look of the mask and gear borrowed elements from Hellraiser and My Bloody Valentine, with an added utility belt inspired by Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, Part 6. Rubin worked alongside genre legends Tony Gardner and Brian Christensen to craft a mask that was part S&M and part emoji. Stunt performer Alex McCall donned the costume and brought the character to life. And when slasher fans got to see the final product, it was love at first sight.
Remick from Sinners.
When creating a vampire villain for his period musical drama horror film, Ryan Coogler wanted a take that was as unique as the rest of the film, with the character hailing from a culture that predated American racial definitions. Inspired by the relationship between Black American and Irish culture, he created Remick, a vampire who bites and converts victims to his hive mind regardless of their race or creed. Actor Jack O'Connell sang and danced on screen for the first time for this role, drawing on his background in Irish dance. His earnest, energetic take on the character results in a villain that's both sinister and sincere.
Y'all clean?
Sir, well, no, we believe in equality and music. We just came here to play.
And Gladys from Weapons.
For this twisted suburban fairy tale, Zach Kreger wanted his Wicked Witch to have a unique look. Aunt Gladys's colorful wardrobe, wigs, and makeup were inspired by a combination of Twin Peaks' Firewalk with Me, the uncanny self-portraits of photographer Cindy Sherman, and retirees in Boca Raton, Florida. Kreger was also heavily inspired by Betty Davis in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Prosthetics enhanced the look, with Amy Madigan's delightfully unhinged performance the final piece that made Aunt Gladys unforgettable.
I can make your parents hurt themselves. I can make them hurt each other. I can make them eat each other if I want to.
And the prime rib goes to
Sinners.
Aunt Gladys from Weapons. Congratulations, Gladys. I'm so happy for you. You know, I know it is so hard to do what we do on screen, but remember, always do it with a smile.
Dude, David Howard Thorne, great to play as Joker. DC, we need to get him play as Joker. Somebody call James Gunn. We need David Howard Thorne to be the Joker. We need to call James Gunn. Geek Zip agree with me.
Congratulations to Aunt Gladys, caretaker, babysitter, arborist, and now best villain.
A few years into the show, we realized that picking winners is a difficult and honestly stressful ordeal. So we decided to outsource those painful decisions to our horror-loving colleagues. They're being listed on screen right now because this year we expanded the panel. James, Chelsea, and myself were joined by 21 other critics, content creators, and movie makers, each of whom submitted 1 vote per category. We thank them for helping us choose the winners because it is truly impossible to do this by ourselves.
Now, before we kick things off with our acting categories, we want to take a moment to recognize one of the less traditional
Oh, look at the doggy right here. Look at Mila. What a cute little doggy.
performances this year.
It can be hard for audiences to relate to an inhuman character, especially when they don't speak. But if they can sit and stay on command, we've learned that they're just as capable of stealing our hearts.
We'd like to honor this performer now with a bespoke trophy made just for him, the prime rib for Best Boy. Congratulations to Indy the dog from Good Boy.
Hitporvic P is an all-in-one AI-powered video enhancer software. It can improve video quality.
Being a supporting player in a horror film can be a thankless job. It often means ending up as cannon fodder, keeping you from returning for the sequel.
But even without top billing, many supporting characters manage to shine. Our nominees this year include villains who look like friends, friends who look like villains, and one old lady who's rotten inside and out.
Presenting the award for Best Supporting Performance is an actress who's lent her off-kilter energy to some truly memorable side characters.
Thanks, James and Chelsea. A lot of
All right, guys. Give me a 5-minute break. I'm going to play a song because my butt is hurting right now. I need to stand up. And also get some water, get some chips. Yes, guys. I was snacking. I was hungry, you know. Your boy need to eat something spicy. So we'll be a commercial break. 5 minutes. Let me find a song. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm gonna put a song.
Thank you so much! Because like this song from my song tonight, it's just a light of Jesus. I'm awaiting Stevie! Lights go down, the screens ringing, horror legends all walking, Rector every Chucky's great, Sheriff Brandon standing strong again. Chris Jericho steps in the fight, didn't make it through the night, victorious rock the terror grows, that's just how the horror goes. Raise your hands, hear the crowd.
ready.
Actors think that the best roles are found in the spotlight. But if horror's taught us anything, is that the most fun and interesting roles are found in the dark. Tonight's performers prove just that you don't need top billing to be top of mind, to be the topic, to be top notch. The nominees for Best Supporting Performance are Jacob Elordi as the creature in Frankenstein.
To breathe new life into Frankenstein's monster, Elordi made sure he was thoroughly prepared. At Guillermo del Toro's direction, he studied the developmental stages of infants, classic Frankenstein films, and the Japanese theater and dance technique of Buto, particularly as it relates to death and reanimation. He discovered other aspects of the character in the moment, finding the creature's voice through a combination of speaking through his prosthetic teeth and mirroring the voice of David Bradley, who plays the blind man that teaches the creature how to talk. The result is a transformative performance, as emotionally resonant as it is physically intimidating.
My maker told his tale. Then I will tell you mine.
Rafe Fiennes as Dr. Ian Kelson in 28 Years Later.
At its core, 28 Years Later is a film about enduring humanity in the face of horror and violence. And nowhere is that theme better embodied than by Rafe Fiennes as Dr. Kelson. As a doctor who has lost access to the world of modern medicine, Kelson has turned his focus to honoring the dead and accepting the reality of mortality. Fiennes built a profile of the character with director Danny Boyle, seeing Kelson as a spiritual figure. He takes on a role akin to a sage or a priest as he helps the film's protagonist embrace the beauty of life and the pain of loss.
There are many kinds of death, and some are better than others. The best are peaceful, where we leave each other in love.
Sally Hawkins as Laura in Bring Her Back.
Sally Hawkins has played a mother figure before, in Wonka and the Paddington films. Her knack for portraying maternal love takes a dark turn in Bring Her Back, as a mother determined to bring her lost daughter back at any cost. Rather than thinking of her as evil, Hawkins used Laura's deep hurt as an emotional entry point for the character, focusing on the ways that her all-consuming grief drives her to commit evil acts. Her performance was so intense and committed that directors the Filippos were sometimes afraid to approach her in between takes.
I spoke with an angel. It's a beautiful angel. It does beautiful things.
David Johnson as Pete McVries in The Long Walk.
When he first read the script for The Long Walk, Johnson wasn't sure if the project was for him. It was a bleak story that seemed too scary to tackle, but he followed that fear and threw himself into the role of a young man determined to find beauty in a broken world. He bonded immediately with co-star Cooper Hoffman, lending their on-screen friendship a genuine warmth and natural rhythm. Johnson imbues McVries with a sincerity and heart that brings light to the film's long, dark road.
We're real friends, aren't we?
P, what does it matter? Whether we had 3 hours, 3 days, or 3 decades, this moment, this fucking moment, it matters, man.
Amy Madigan as Aunt Gladys in Weapons.
Director Zach Kreger knew that whoever played the eccentric yet terrifying centerpiece of Weapons would need to sell the character just right, or else the entire project would fail. He found the perfect fit in Amy Madigan, whose range he admired from work like Field of Dreams and Carnival. Kreger gave her a choice of 2 backgrounds for the character. She was either a human with an affinity for magic, or an inhuman entity masquerading as an old woman. Madigan kept her choice to herself, making Aunt Gladys a mystery even to the man who wrote her.
A bowl, please.
A bowl?
Yes, a bowl. It's a peculiarity of mine. I don't even try to rationalize it anymore.
Wumi Masaku as Annie in Sinners.
Masaku was uninterested in horror films until a viewing of Get Out showed her how they could bring people closer together
and change both the viewer and society. She embodies that same power as a hoodoo priestess who helps her community face off against an army of vampires. Masako worked closely with a hoodoo consultant to portray Annie's practice with the accuracy and reverence it deserved. She also worked with director Ryan Coogler and co-star Michael B. Jordan to map out her relationship with Smoke, infusing their scenes together with romantic chemistry and emotional depth.
How you know I ain't brave? I work every route my grandmama taught me to keep you and that crazy brother of yours safe every day since you've been gone.
And the prime rib for best supporting performance goes to
Sinners for Water.
Amy Madigan. Congratulations, Amy. You were phenomenal. You're fantastic. And to mention, great mini bangs in the role.
Congratulations to Amy Madigan, whose performance also won her the Best Supporting Actress Oscar earlier this year.
Audiences demand a lot from their horror film
Wow, good for her. She did an awesome job.
protagonists. Don't check out that noise. Don't look in that basement. And whatever you do, don't split up. Because at the end of the day, a scary movie is only scary if you care about your characters.
Our nominees tonight are lead performers who do more than just try to survive. They portray main characters who feel complicated and vulnerable and human, which makes our time with them that much more harrowing.
Here to present Best Lead Performance is a man who won the award last year and also crashed one of our presenters back in 2023.
Thank you, James and Chelsea. I love you guys, and I love Dead Meat. It is an amazing time to love horror movies. So I'm honored to be here presenting today.
That's true. I love horror movies, guys. You know that.
Being the top of a call sheet on any movie is a huge responsibility. Imagine doing it covered in sweat, wounds, tears, head to toe in blood, just ungodly amounts of blood everywhere. That's the price that you pay for a horror film. And as tonight's nominees prove, and what a lineup of nominees, it is a deal with the devil that just might be worth making. They wrote that, but I like that line. All of these performances were so inspiring and so worth the watch, and I'm so excited to get to present today. The nominees for Best Performance in a Leading Role are Miles Caton as Sammy Moore in Sinners.
As the central voice in a movie all about the unearthly power of music,
Man, there are a lot of Sinners Award and Waters Award. Oh, Friday Nights at Freddy.
there was a lot riding on Miles Caton's portrayal of a bright young blues musician. Though he was working as a backup singer at the time of his audition, Caton had no experience playing guitar. He taught himself to play after getting cast and before production began, studying musicians recommended by director Ryan Coogler, like Howlin' Wolf, Charlie Patton, and Buddy Guy, who would end up playing an older version of his character. Though it was his professional acting debut, Caton held his own amongst an all-star cast, including fellow nominee Michael B. Jordan, and was able to make the music of Sinners sing.
They call me Preacher Boy, kind of my dad being a pastor. I wrote this song for him.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Cooper Hoffman as Ray Garrity in The Long Walk.
Filming The Long Walk subjected Hoffman to a real-life trek of almost 400 miles. Physical toll put him directly in Garrity's well-worn shoes, though it was far from the only thing he had in common with his character. Garrity's decision to participate in The Long Walk is driven by the loss of his father. And Hoffman lost his own father, veteran actor Philip Seymour Hoffman, which allowed him to draw on that experience when developing the character. He also drew from the genuine friendship he forged with co-star David Johnson during production, mirroring that of their characters who gradually open up to each other as they walk the road.
Everybody puts in for it, even though it's not required, because we're all so fucking desperate. What does that tell you? What? Nobody signs up for this. Not really.
Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack in Sinners.
To prepare for his dual role as a pair of twin brothers, Jordan worked with identical twin filmmakers Noah and Logan Miller in order to understand the psychology of twins. He also worked with dialect coach Beth McGuire to build different ways of speaking for each brother, and gave each man his own way of standing, moving, and walking. Despite the challenges of working with a double and a multi-camera halo rig, Jordan managed to make Smoke and Stack so distinct, his co-star Wumi Masaku could tell which brother he was playing, even with her eyes closed.
Yeah, Scott. That's a mighty fine day to be free, ain't it?
Leah Myron as Elvira in The Ugly Stepsister.
To play the role of a so-called ugly stepsister who would do anything to become a princess, Norwegian actress Leah Myhren imagined an all-encompassing sense of self-loathing and reflected on what that would do to a person. She thought about how it would affect her movement, her speech, and the way she interacted with herself and others. She even incorporated some of her own tics into the character, like biting her nails and scratching at the skin of her fingers. She and director Emily Blickfeld worked together to balance Elvira's childlike naivete with her growing insecurity and desperation.
Sophie Thatcher as Iris in Companion.
The team behind Companion struggled to cast the role of Iris, viewing over 300 self-tapes in their search. However, they were saved when Sophie Thatcher was suggested to writer-director Drew Hancock by fellow filmmaker Rob Savage. Thatcher's background as a dancer helped her embody Iris's inhuman stillness and precise movements. She was also so intimidated by the drastic emotional shifts of the role, she almost talked herself out of doing the film, but stuck it out and brought Iris to life in a performance that captured all of her tragedy and triumph.
I'll do whatever you want. I'll cook for you, wait on you, make love to you. If I can make you happy, Josh, I can make you so happy.
Alfie Williams as Spike in 28 Years Later.
Williams was only 13 years old when he was chosen to play a boy, trying to care for his sick mother in the aftermath of a zombie apocalypse. From intense action and horror to quiet emotional moments, the role asked a lot of a young actor. But with the guidance of his adult co-stars, he was able to master both the physical demands of the action scenes and the stillness and presence of the moments between them, allowing him to bring Spike's joy, terror, and heartbreak to life against a backdrop of death.
I want to see a doctor. Oh, a doctor. A real doctor. No. From the old days. Something wrong with you, Mom.
And the prime rib for best performance in a
28 Days or Sinners or
leading role goes to an acting hero to me and to all of us who are trying to be actors, the great Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Congratulations for not one, but two of 2025's best performances. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Michael B. Jordan, who, like Amy Madigan, won an Oscar for the same performance earlier this year.
The horror genre is one that contains a huge range of tones, but behind every slow burn nightmare or bombastic bloodbath is a director who knows exactly what brand of frightening their film should be.
This genre has always been a space for unique stories, and our nominees tonight are directors who are among the most unique storytellers.
To celebrate these voices, we have a pair of filmmakers whose versatility extends from ambitious indies to bloody big-budget spectacles.
Thanks, James and Chelsea. Filming a horror movie comes with a lot of questions. How long should you hold a shot? How loud should you make the scare?
How dramatic do you make this kill? And how much blood do you use for it?
In our case, it's usually a lot. We love the stuff.
The point is, a lot of thought goes into directing a horror movie. And tonight's nominees carefully considered every aspect of the craft when creating their films.
The nominees for Best Director are
Amelia Blichfeld for The Ugly Stepsister.
For her feature debut, Blichfeld created a gothic retelling of Cinderella that combines elements of the original Grimm Brothers story, the animated Disney movie, and a healthy dose of David Cronenberg. She emulated the Eastern European fairy tale films of the 60s and 70s for an atmosphere that's enchanting and grounded at the same time.
So I wanted to contrast it to Disney's kind of syrupy glow up, feeling that they don't believe that world is real. And I really wanted the bodies in the world to feel real.
Blichfeld tried to be involved in as many departments as possible, from advising on the prosthetic and makeup design, to pulling costume pieces and even helping with the film's dance sequences.
Danny Boyle for 28 Years Later.
As with the first film more than 20 years ago, Boyle avoided delving too much into the horror genre, instead relying on his perspective as an outsider to create a fresh take on the zombie movie. Boyle was partially inspired by the COVID-19 pandemic and seeing what happens when people are forced to live with a virus long term.
Like in the first film, everybody was so cautious about getting infected. It was like, did the blood get on you? It's like, if it did get on you, I'll hatchet you to death. It was like, everybody's like this. But you can't exist like that for 28 years. It's exhausting.
The resulting film captures the original's gritty realism while taking the franchise in new directions, partly a brutal survival horror movie, and partly a surreal meditation on death and aging.
Ryan Coogler for Sinners.
Coogler's first foray into the horror genre takes place over the course of a single night. The Oakland-born filmmaker was excited to create a 24-hour film, inspired by movies like Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing and his own debut, Fruitvale Station. But Sinners is far from a retread. Coogler weaves together action, drama, folklore, music, and politics of the Jim Crow South for an experience that is as entertaining as it is ambitious.
I knew I was stretching myself to do things I hadn't done before, tones that I hadn't done before, things that I always appreciated in movies, but I hadn't had a chance to do myself.
To give the powerful story an appropriately epic look, Coogler and his cinematographer, Autumn Durald Arkapaw, shot simultaneously.
I think Sinner gonna win it. The great director.
On Ultra Panavision 70 and IMAX 70mm, the first film to ever do so.
Zach Kreger for Weapons.
Kreger's follow-up to his 2022 film Barbarian had a lot to live up to, but Weapons is just as unpredictable, frightening, and darkly comedic. With the film's chaotic story and non-linear structure, Kreger carefully planned the film through storyboards and by visiting each location with cinematographer Larkin Seipel to map out their shots.
No, I figure it out when I have all the time in the world to figure it out, and I can be fun. And it can be like the way little kids, would do it. That's where creativity thrives, is when there's not pressure.
Further problems arose when the Hollywood strikes in 2023 required him to recast almost every character. His preparation paid off and kept the new actors on the same page when it came to the film's unique balance of horror and humor.
Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein.
Frankenstein has long been a dream project for Del Toro, whose passion for visual art and practical effects is on full display in this sumptuous adaptation. Like the creature himself, Del Toro's take is stitched together from different sources, from Mary Shelley's original novel and personal life to Boris Karloff's version of the iconic monster.
The movie is the fusion of her biography, my biography, and everything I know about the Romantics, all fused together into a landscape of Catholic madness.
The result is a sweeping epic that is also highly personal, told in a style that is unmistakably Del Toro's.
Francis Lawrence for The Long Walk.
Francis Lawrence is no stranger to death games, having directed all 4 sequels in the Hunger Games franchise. Before The Long Walk, Lawrence stripped down his usual approach, foregoing big-budget spectacle and focus.
That's a good one, too. good directing.
On intimate character relationships, which were eventually punctuated by brutal violence.
That impact is very important to, the Stephen King stories. That intensity is really important to his stories, to this story in particular, and I was not going to shy away from it.
Lawrence also shot the film chronologically, giving The Long Walk a real sense of exhaustion by the time the final contestant crosses the finish line.
And the prime rib for Best Director goes to Ryan Coogler.
Congratulations, Ryan, for conducting the Symphony of Brotherhood, Blues, and Blood.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Ryan Coogler for combining horror, drama, comedy, and music into one real barn burner of a film.
If there's one thing we hope to do on this channel, it's to shine a light on just how much talent and passion goes into making a film. The horror genre is possible because of the collaboration between so many different artists. And since our last show, we've sadly had to say goodbye to many. We'd like to take a moment now to honor them and their legacy in this genre that we all
I want to see.
love so much.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space? With this free satellite Earth Maps tool, you can zoom right down to your...
I told her no one ever really disappears. They're always around somewhere.
Children are wandering through the wilderness of sin these days, Mrs. Snell. These are godless times, Mrs. Snell. I'll drink to that.
There is an evil awakened in this land.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Our ancestral spirits never died. They were here long before we were, and they'll be here long after we are gone.
It's your nature to do one thing correctly. Tremble. The fear is not what you owe me. You owe me all.
Jason, my special, special boy.
This kills monsters. If you believe it does. If you believe it does. If you believe it does. If you believe it does.
We cannot sincerely celebrate all that was good about our dearly departed, not until we release the horror that they inflicted upon us.
For me, I really like the visual nature of a horror film. Usually horror just gets you into kind of another realm.
Wrong set.
What the hell are you? I'm a leprechaun, my dear.
It's tragic and dramatic, and it's funny too. And if you can figure out a way to blend those things, that's capturing the human experience. And so that's what I try to do in all the films.
The coming months are going to be hard. I suspect on all of us. But if it's guilt you're looking for, Buffy, I'm not your man. All you will get from me is my support. And my respect.
Before we get into our final categories, it's time to present the award that was voted on by you, the audience.
After all, the horror genre, and this channel for that matter, would be nothing without the dedication of its fans.
That's nice to pay tribute that who passed away.
Is right, James and Chelsea. While it's been amazing to see mainstream award shows embrace the genre this year, horror's backbone has always been you, the fans. You are the ones that support people like me, filmmakers, through thick and thin, turning good movies into must-see classics and some other ones into personal or cult favorites. This year, thousands of you cast your votes and the results were loud and clear. So I'm thrilled to announce that the prime rib for fan favorite film is Sinners. Congratulations to the cast and crew of Sinners for piercing the veil between fans and critics, as well as giving us perhaps this year's scariest Irishman, although I would like to think that that is still me.
Congratulations again to Sinners, which won with a whopping 40% of the votes this year.
The number of remakes and sequels in the horror genre is an old cliche by now. Freddy kept having new nightmares, Leatherface was always entering the next generation, and Jason didn't quite make it to 13 Friday the 13th, but he got pretty close.
But tonight's nominees aren't just cash grabs based on recognizable IP. We saw dead franchises resurrected and classic stories reinterpreted. These remakes and sequels truly built on what came before them, keeping old ideas fearsomely fresh.
Grab yourself a bowl of popcorn as we bring in our penultimate presenter for Best Franchise Horror Film.
Well, thank you, James and Chelsea. You know, there is nothing more exciting for a horror fan than a new release in their favorite horror franchise. But rehashing old plots and storylines can be a nightmare. Luckily, these nominees are more than just comfortable and familiar. They are interesting, thought-provoking, and surprising. I mean, why make safe choices in a genre as dangerous as horror? So the nominees for Best Franchise Horror Film are 28 Years Later.
The third installment in the series that began with 28 Days Later in 2002, 28 Years Later is a British-American co-production. It follows a young boy coming of age in an isolated Great Britain shaped by nearly 3 decades of the rage virus. The film was a collaboration between returning director Danny Boyle and writer Alex Garland, who also produced alongside Bernie Bellew, Peter Rice, and Andrew McDonald.
You know the rules of our community, Spike. If you leave, you can come back, but if you don't come back, no one is permitted to go and find you.
Black Phone 2.
A sequel to 2021's The Black Phone, Black Phone 2 is an American film that follows the Blake siblings as they investigate the mystery of the grabber's first victims. The film was once again directed by Scott Derrickson, co-written by Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, and produced by Derrickson, Cargill, and Jason Blum.
You're dead.
The Black Phone series, I think they're gonna win it.
UFO people know that dead is just a word.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
The 6th entry in the Final Destination franchise, Final Destination Bloodlines is an American film that sees an entire family tree targeted.
Or Final Destination, like 6 movies.
By death. It was directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, written by Guy Busick and Laurie Evans Taylor, and produced by Craig Perry, Sheila Hanahan Taylor, Sean Watts, Diane McGonigal, and Toby Emmerich.
Don't you see this? Death is coming for us because we were never supposed to exist.
Frankenstein.
Guillermo del Toro's reimagining of this timeless tale blends Mary Shelley's novel and the universal horror classic into a sweeping gothic epic. The film was written and directed by Guillermo del Toro and produced by del Toro, J. Miles Dale, and Scott Stuber.
You knew I had created something truly horrible.
Not something. Someone.
Tile Survive has to be one of the most relaxing and comforting games of 2026. There's no pressure and it's super easy to play. You don't need to stay online all day, and there's no endless grinding either. Just hop in whenever you feel like it. Collect some...
The Toxic Avenger.
This remake of the 1984 trauma cult classic sees a mild-mannered janitor become an unlikely superhero after falling into a vat of toxic waste. The film was written and directed by Macon Blair and produced by Mary Parent, Alex Garcia, Lloyd Kaufman, and Michael Hertz.
I promise you, I'm not going in.
VHS Halloween.
The 8th installment in the VHS franchise, VHS Halloween is an American horror anthology made up of segments revolving around the titular holiday. The gory soda-themed wraparound, Diet Phantasma, was written and directed by Brian M. Ferguson. The film also features 5 segments, including Cuchi Cuchi Coo, written and directed by Ana Zlokovic, Atsupra Sic Infra, directed by Paco Plaza, who co-wrote with Alberto Marini, Fun Size, written and directed by Casper Kelly, Kid Print, written and directed by Alex Ross Perry, and finally, Home Haunt, written and directed by Micheline Pitt Norman and R.H. Norman.
I think I went to like 3 of them, and that's it.
Anthology was produced by Josh Goldblum, Brad Miska, James Harris, and Roy Lee.
Same old shit every year, Keith. Come on, man.
Rich, that is not one of mine!
And the prime rib for Best Franchise Horror Film goes to 28 Years Later. Congratulations to the cast and crew of 28 Years Later. Your moving take on the zombie genre was truly all the rage.
Congratulations to 28 years later. Instead of a retread of what came before it, it took a chance and ventured away from what was safe and comfortable.
Horror is a genre that has always pushed the envelope when it comes to originality. After all, it's hard to be afraid of something if you feel like you've seen it before.
As with every year, we saw plenty of new and surprising films come out in 2025. Our nominees tonight include exciting entries from horror's up-and-comers, as well as veteran filmmakers making a foray into the genre.
It's our final and most competitive category, Best Standalone Horror Film.
Hi, everyone. It's me. We've got one more award to hand out, and I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. It's our 5th one, which is hard to believe. I remember filming the first one in front of this fireplace. Just Chelsea and I here in our home, with our then assistant Ben off to the side there. We've certainly come a long way since then. And we want to keep going further. Ever since the beginning, I've always tried to improve and expand what Dead Meat can do. I mean, this award show is a great example. We love honoring the people who have created great art in the horror space. But now we want to look forward and find the next great horror artists. We want to give them a platform and work hand in hand to create your next favorite horror movie. That's why I'm excited to announce Dead Meat's next major project, aptly titled Fresh Meat. If you're a filmmaker who's made a horror short within the past 2 years, or want to make one in the next 4 weeks, you will have the chance to be part of an anthology film with a Dead Meat stamp of approval. And after that, who knows? Maybe even a feature-length version of your idea. More details will be announced on July 25th, 1 week from this show's air date. That's also when submissions will open, so if this sounds interesting to you, start preparing right now. When I look around at everything Dead Meat has accomplished, it feels like we're at the top of a mountain. And now I think it's time to reach down and help the next generation of horror filmmakers ascend. So stay tuned for Fresh Meat.
I wish I was a film director or film writer or an actor. So I wish I could submit a horror movie or short.
So you know how sometimes the repetition of IP and franchises, well, it can make you feel like you're stuck in a time loop, watching the same movie again and again and again. Well, lucky for us, horror has an affection for originality, providing us with sights, sounds, and experiences that are uniquely disturbing. And I mean, that's probably why this year's nominees, they're not just some of the best in the genre, they're the best films of 2025. And our nominees for Best Standalone Horror Film are Bring Her Back.
Bring Her Back is an Australian film that follows 2 foster siblings who are adopted
Oh, Australian, mate. You should watch it, Cole.
by a new caretaker with a dark secret. The film was directed by Michael and Danny Filippo, the latter of whom co-wrote with Bill Hinsman. It was produced by Samantha Jennings and Christina Satan.
Let me go, love. I didn't think it would work, but it's working. Okay. It's working. Let me go. He's gonna bring her back.
Companion.
Companion is an American film about a bloody weekend retreat set in a world where advanced robots can be turned into the perfect partner. The film was written and directed by Drew Hancock and produced by Rafael Margolez, J.D. Lifshitz, Zach Kreger, and Roy Lee.
Remember to smile and act happy, okay?
The Long Walk.
The Long Walk is an American film that takes place in an alternate dystopian universe where 50 teenage boys march in a deadly competition for the chance at a life-changing prize. The film was directed by Francis Lawrence and written by J.T. Molnar. Lawrence produced alongside Steven Schneider, Cameron McConomy, and Roy Lee.
Now, boys, who's set to fucking win? Yeah! I said, who's ready to fucking win? Yeah!
Sinners.
Sinners is an American film that sees a pair of gangster brothers clash with vampires and the KKK in 1930s Mississippi. The film was written and directed by Ryan Coogler, who produced alongside Zinzi Coogler and Seba Hanyan.
You keep dancing with the devil. One day he's gonna follow you home.
The Ugly Stepsister.
The Ugly Stepsister is a Norwegian, Polish, Swedish, and Danish co-production. The film is a body horror reimagining of Cinderella, told from the perspective of one of her less beloved stepsisters. It was written and directed by Amelia Blichfeldt and produced by Maria Eckerhoff.
Playing on iPhone? Now you can play Unlocked with Google Play Games on PC.
Weapons.
Weapons is an American film that sees a small town descend into chaos after an entire third-grade class goes missing one night. The film was written and directed by Zach Kreger, who produced alongside Miri Yoon, Rafael Margolez, J.D. Lifshitz, and Roy Lee.
Talking about 17 kids in one classroom. What happened in that classroom? Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Margolez and Lifshitz are also nominated for Companion alongside Lee, who is also nominated for The Long Walk.
And this year's prime rib for Best Standalone
Sinner or Orders or
Horror Film goes to Sinners. Congratulations to the cast and crew of Sinners for your 5th win of the night. Oh, that's something to scream about. Killing it.
Congratulations to Sinners. This award is the film's 5th prime rib win of the night.
We've said this a lot this decade, but it doesn't make it any less true. This was a truly incredible year for horror films.
As the night winds down, we want to thank the many people who make this show possible. Of course, our wonderful co-host Soren, as well as the entire Dead Meat team. They've been hard at work for months to make this show possible and will continue to do so after we wrap.
We'd also like to once again thank our panelists, as well as the production crew that's here with us tonight. This year's show was shot at Slasher World, located in Fairfax, Los Angeles, and owned by our friend Kiko Bailey. Say hello when you stop by.
There's also Elle Fox, who performed our opening monologue. And finally, we'd like to thank all of you in the audience tonight. Your support and loyalty not only make our show possible, but it's helped elevate this genre we all love to new heights.
We'll see you all next year. But until then, I'm James A. Janice.
I'm Chelsea Rebecca.
And this has been the Dead Meat Horror Awards. Be good people.
What's the Well, what do you think about Dead Meat Horror Movie Award night? Do you like it? That's my first time watching the award night. It was pretty cool. Hope next year, so 26 horror movie will go on 2027. Could we be seeing Scream? Or many more horror movies that we like this year? Let me know in a comment. Like, share, subscribe. See you on the next video. Peace. Rudy's out. And remember what James said. Be good people. I'm out, guys. I'm out.